Hey geeks, do you love comics, collectibles, and TCG? Well, here at Cardboard Cave, we have the place for you. Pass by Kapitan Granuja Comics and Games and find all your favorite geeky items there. Look for them at Facebook or Instagram or call them at 787-659-7003. A store blessed by Nicole Bolas.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cardboard Cave. John is not here with us today. Hopefully, he'll be in the next episode, but that's okay because we got our other panel of experts. And by experts, we mean that we all just play Commander and have no understanding of the competitive meta scene. Let's start off with JP.
Hey, I have no idea what I'm doing here. What's
what's the standard?
What's the standard? Is that what you use in your car?
Yeah, that's what you use in your car.
Is modern as in modern days, as in the current day?
Historic as books that you read and stuff.
Oh, of course. A legacy, what we leave behind. See,
exactly. And vintage is like old timey stuff.
And Commander, of course. That's the real. That's
the format. That's the only format that matters. What about you, Christopher?
I play standard sometimes. I play arena. That counts for something, right?
What's an arena?
I don't know what I'm doing when I play arena. Sometimes I just play mono red. Actually, I don't play mono red. I play rogues. I'm even dirtier. But
how can you keep playing arena with how egregious it is? How can you even do that?
Because it's easy to just play something for free when you don't have like, oh my god, I want to qualify for like mythic and stuff in mind. Because once you start going down that road, it's like all over. It just becomes, start losing money.
Like the main purpose of why you want to be a competitive player. Yeah, I get it.
Exactly. Like once you actually try to do something like cool with your hobby, yeah, that's when it all goes to shit.
Exactly. I agree completely.
We've had a lot of we missed last week, but now we have a lot of backed up content. So let's just start with what's in this week and the new sets. They revealed new sets for Commander. For Magic the Gathering. Yes,
that's true. A lot of new sets for Commandy. So there you go. Thank you, MTG Arena Zone, for this article. It kind of like sums up very well what they all announced. They announced a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So we got Kamigawa 2077. We got Streets of the New Republic. We going back because we don't know what else to do, and we going back again because we don't know what else to do.
Actually, to be fair,
that is pretty inaccurate at those last two though.
Through a poll they had done years ago, I'm not sure how long ago, they asked if people wanted to go back into we actually talked about it. Yeah, we talked about the speculation on people going back to the Brothers War, and
we actually got a few of these.
Not exactly.
We literally mentioned.
We didn't mention the Brothers War exactly.
It was mentioned on a flashback set.
Yes, exactly.
We actually, if I'm not mistaken, one of us had mentioned Kamigawa, and actually the whole cyber.
We actually got 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, 3 out of the 4. Yeah.
We actually got Kamigawa because granted it has been speculated for a while. Dominaria, we just assumed that since it was one of the best-selling sets in recent times, they were obviously going to go back. And then we were speculating. The one that we were kind of widely speculating was the one that I was wishing that we could see Urza in his prime or some bullshit, and we're basically getting that.
Yeah, that's that. Yes. What we are also getting is Mishra's Prodigy.
True.
Mishra's Prodigy is none other than Ashnod.
Yes.
So
I just really
I'm excited to see what they bring with her.
I just finally want to have an Urza Planeswalker. That's all I want out of those. One of those
actually,
sets. It's gotta happen, man.
That's actually really, really a really good prediction.
Yeah.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Kamigawa. I'm actually you see the concept of this is 1,200 years ahead from the last set. Mm-hmm. Which makes sense. It's in reality we advanced a lot of technology really quickly, and this world has magic, so it makes even more sense to do so. If you look at Cyberpunk's timeline from ours kind of diverges around Cold War. and they just kind of bans like stupid quickly. So the fact that this is like magics and cyberpunk and steampunky, like you might think a lot of people might think like neon, like cyberpunky type stuff wouldn't work, but Ravnica is steampunk.
Yeah.
Ravnica is heavily steampunk in the area, at least of its infrastructure with the Izzet.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So going cyberpunk is like not that far off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And especially fantasy cyberpunk, which is like it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Magic punk, if you will.
Magic punk.
Yeah.
It says here they're going to introduce Kaito as one of the new planeswalkers, a cyber ninja.
Of
They're
course,
going
there's
to
got to be cyber
take-
ninjas and cyber Kamigawa.
Exactly. So it's going to take some design elements from their first block and mesh them in science fiction elements featuring all new gameplay mechanics. Of course, there's always going to be new keywords.
I am hoping for callbacks and reprints. Is Sensei's Divining Top too strong for standard?
It's never too strong.
No, because
It's,
no, I actually
the problem with
actually
Sensei's
thinking,
Divining Top is just it's like it's never not strong. I don't think that it's necessarily too strong for standard.
the reason
The thing is, having a 1-drop that basically draws you cards that quickly into the game, I think could be
it doesn't
problematic.
it's like it doesn't gain you more cards. You
That
have
is
to put
true.
it back on top.
Mhm.
The thing is, I'm thinking about it, and the reason it's banned in modern
Mm.
is fetches, like fetches, which we only have like basic like what we have Evolving Wilds and Fable Passage.
Yeah.
No, we don't have it in
Passage
standard
being
anymore.
played on everything,
We
but
don't
we're
have-
not going to have
we don't have,
Fable Passage by
Evolving
the time
Wilds?
we get Kamigawa.
No, we do have Evolving Wilds, but we don't have Fable Passage going into 2022 unless
Exactly.
they print it in one of
They're
these
probably
sets.
they're probably gonna print it. It's like
I agree, but if they do,
we've kind of established that it's kind of like a premier card they just kind of want, especially if they're gonna make it a promo. They've made it a promo. Continuing on it, every time you buy like boxes or any purchases above $100, you just get a promo for one of those cards.
Yeah.
Like for a Fable Passage, like it's obvious they're gonna print it. But that having two cards that are like shuffle effects isn't that strong in comparison. And the real reason, like miracles in modern would have been like uber broken, like Counterbalance and Legacy,
definitely.
and the other just the other synergy.
I'm just kind of
Well, I don't
I just
know.
kind of started thinking about like some of the decks that I've been playing in Arena, and just the fact that you can there's lots of ways to shuffle your deck in Arena. By Arena, I guess referring to standard, I suppose. So yeah, I don't think that Sensei's Divining Top is like stupid strong or anything, like JP was saying, but I do still think it is like a really decent card, and I don't know, it could kind of become like a staple. Like, why wouldn't you run a Sensei's Divining Top in literally anything, I guess?
Because it does nothing. It fixes your for a control deck, it fixes your top, but like generally for an aggro deck, you want to be faster than that. A mid-range deck, it creates value, but all it really does is fixes your top, and maybe like it doesn't even technically like replace itself because it's going back on the top of your deck. You're still gonna draw that card, so you're still like it's just giving you the draw earlier. So mid-range decks maybe could run it if there's like the slow type of mid-range decks. But we've been having like in standard. I know we don't really. I'm kind of on top of standard in terms of the decks that are being played, and the mid-range decks in standard aren't slow. They are not slow. Like they're big, but they're not slow. So Sensei's Divining Top is too slow of a card. That's why it's such an all-star in Commander.
Worst case, they could just print it in one of the premier sets that we have going down the list.
Yeah, that is.
What do
that
you think
could be another option.
What do you think about having it as a Viabox promo?
Are they doing the thing where no? Usually the buy a box promo is in the set. They stopped doing the whole thing about buy a box promos that are not in the set. They stopped doing that. It's now if the buy a box promo, usually it is a card in the set. So that's what I'm saying. It could just be for the sake of the reference of Kamigawa. They could print it like in a spoiler. There's a double masters coming next year, so it could just be in the double master sets, for example.
True.
Although the Masters would imply that it's going to modern, but it's banned on modern. Maybe it's on the Commander Legends one, but it'll be in one of them, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. The Streets of Capina or Capena.
Yes,
Whatever.
Mobos Obnixilis.
Yes.
The streets. He shall rule the streets.
I have no idea what's going on there. Is this this is a new plane, correct? Like
Yes,
new
I think
Capina?
Yes.
so.
I don't think have we ever like seen this in like what's it called, like Plane Chase or anything like that? Because I really have
Nope.
no recollection of
No,
Capina.
I think
no
someone
recommend-
saw too much Sopranos and wanted to make a set like that, planes like that. Or something.
Yes, the powerhouses, the families.
Yeah.
You're gonna see, I don't know, like 5 planeswalkers, one of each color, and each one is like a mob boss.
Oh, look at this! It says the Streets of
I like
Capina
the
takes
vibe,
place
though.
in a new world, an urban city with a setting with a special significance to Elspeth. So we're gonna get Elspeth also with Opnixilis, but this is the cool part. The city is built by angels, but is now run by 5 3-color demon crime families featuring their own keyword and gameplay style, which implies that we might get the other cycle that we're missing from Ikoria of the
Cycle
color of the cycle lands. We might get them here because it will complete
Cycle
the cycle.
Interesting, because they're actually pretty balanced.
I know. And since the other
I like
ones
them a lot.
rotated out, because Ikoria already rotated out from standard, well, once we get to Innistrad, I mean, this could be a great moment to introduce the other color pair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this could be the great place to introduce it. Since I've been saying since Ikoria came
while.
out that
Yeah.
I need to complete the cycle because it's a great card. Like, it's super balanced. It's great for modern. It's great for, I don't know if Legacy or
Commander.
Vintage
I think
played
it's
them, but
fantastic for
Command-
Commander.
It's great for Commander. It
Commander,
has the types.
yeah, exactly. So it's great. It's amazing fetchable lands. So
I do gotta
love
say
it.
though, I'm really excited to like just see the art in these like 2 sets, Kamigawa and New Capina, since even though Kamigawa is in a new setting, it's basically new since it's based like so like far into the future, and the art style, like from what I can at least recall, is new to Magic,
Yeah.
which I find really cool. And
To an extent, again, similarities can be drawn with Ravnica and the
Mhm.
Izzet.
Yeah.
But only like specifically the Izzet. Maybe the
Yeah.
Simic. They do kind of do that weird science magic stuff.
I also
Yeah.
want to see what role will then like whatever remaining spirits that are left in Kamigawa would take in this like new like highly advanced city, because you know how there's like usually kind of what's that called, like the kind of like the story of these things, how they usually go is that people tend to lose contact with a lot of like spiritual stuff as like technology and everything else advances.
It's
So I
probably like
really
this-
want to see what's going to happen there.
Ooh, Okagachi being like angry. Okagachi being the basically 5-color vengeful spirit. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would
So you
be
could see
so
something like
cool.
that. It could be like the remnants of the spirits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can definitely see something like that.
Maybe them using
The-
like spirits to like power their cities or something. Maybe something even more insane.
Oh, that sounds more like the Legend of Korra,
Oh yes.
Oh,
where they
yeah.
use spirit power as an energy source, and the spirits go mad and crazy because they're it's like just trying to wreak the havoc. But the spirits will
very
become the
excited.
new Gruul. You know how
Yeah.
Gruul and Ravnica are like
Yes.
angry because they have no space,
Angry
because
nature
the
people.
world is a city, and they were supposed to be like the rangers, and there is no forests.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The spirits could take on that role and just be like angry at being like a lot of red spirits, like representing the passion and the anger side, would be
Mm.
interesting. Maybe a reprint of anger. It's just no, because that would imply having reprints of the other versions,
Yeah.
and like Swamp Walk isn't like those keywords aren't used.
Yeah.
I guess Swamp Walk is the only one specifically, but like the rest ones are haste, flying. What does the white one do? Give
Nothing.
vigilance, I
So
think.
useless.
I think it gives vigilance. No,
Might.
Are you just saying that because it's a white card, Orengo?
Yes,
How dare?
of course,
Come on.
maybe.
Come
I
on.
mean,
Give
come
Wizards
on.
a chance. Maybe
Come
they've done something
on.
nice. Come on.
Come on. Maybe it's like a 5-cent card. Come on.
I even want to look
in
at.
fact, I'm gonna look it up.
Come on. Maybe it's super useless. Come on. Okay. Well, JP looks for it.
Hey, wait a minute. I get it now. Like, is this why Niv Mizzet sounded like an Italian mobster in like for War of the Spark Forsaken, because he's gonna be like doing stuff with the demons? There you go. Maybe that's it.
I can see that.
Maybe that's why the guy from Forsaken.
That's why it's bad.
Gotta make you an offer you can't refuse.
Yes.
Then we're going to.
And you're like, what?
We're going to Dominaria United. Oh, that's why, because they're celebrating Magic's 30th anniversary. Now I understand why they're going back. Okay, got it. So, what do you guys think?
It's just the current setting of Dominaria, but just like the current timeline. Mm-hmm. In this case, and that's fine. There's a bunch of interesting stuff that happens in Dominaria, anyways. Yes. In terms of story,
a lot of factions that are constantly in friction, so it is very interesting to see the word united under that.
Mm-hmm. The detail is like I'm thinking like what the story is, because depending on the story is the type of cards we would get. I'm thinking Joyra again. I'm thinking maybe Karn again. Teferi again. A few of the descendants of the Weatherlight crew, would be Slimefoot or like Sisei's
descendants
great
of like
granddaughter,
like the current Weatherlight crew, or you mean like doing the same thing they did like last set?
Yeah, the last set. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. See, Dominaria is just so vast. It's just too open ended to just give out like a guess. Could be we could give a million guesses and be absolutely wrong.
Yeah, like even the previous story I felt was just kind of just
there
ended like an open-ended, like really open-ended note, and they really kind of didn't go anywhere with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they could literally just do whatever in United, kind of like try to keep it vague again or something, or I don't know what they're gonna go
bring back Yawgmoth.
They're obviously gonna
resurrection of Yawgmoth.
Maybe.
I don't know how I would feel about that though. Like, in terms of like, yes, I would love to see Yawgmoth come back, but honestly, do I really like? I don't know, man. Like, I would like to see like Wizards come up with like an interesting original like villain like they have before, you know.
It's interesting that this set comes before the Brothers' War. It could have an implication that there's something big that's going to happen in Dominaria United that's going to shift everything, and we're going to go to the past. Maybe like a time traveling story. Maybe like it's purposeful that we're actually going back in time in the next set. And this was the set just prior to that. It's like maybe they're all getting together. I'm assuming we're going to have 36 Planeswalkers again, like we did last time. Yeah. So that's a safe assumption. And, maybe it'll be the introduction into like going wildly into the past for some reason. Maybe they need to save Urza. Maybe they need to stop the Brothers' War because they realize in Dominaria United, it's actually not united. It's going to be fragmented because the ripples in time have been affected by the war that happened 25 years ago or some bullshit. I don't know. I don't know about lore.
More than that, trust me, but I understand.
JP left this. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Someone called him, so that's why. So we're gonna keep going along. Then it says here the release Dominaria United will be a fitting celebration for Magic the Gathering's 30th anniversary. It's a fan favorite world that kick off one of Magic's greatest stories in high fantasy settings. So you bet your dollar that you're gonna have a lot of nostalgia. You're gonna have your 36 Planeswalkers again. You're gonna have Dominaria didn't have the 36 Planeswalkers, right? It was War of the Spark. Am I getting confused?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I think it was War of the Spark.
Right? Now I got confused a little bit.
No, because Dominaria didn't have that many Planeswalkers.
No, it had a lot of legendaries. It was the introduction of having legendaries at the uncommon level. That was their gimmick, yes. So we might have a shit ton of legendaries again.
Again, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe
more Planeswalkers. What I'm very excited for is the fact that since we're getting 2 Dominaria sets, like, what are the chances that we're finally getting a Dominaria D&D setting? I am very excited. I'm like extremely excited. I'm pretty sure we even talked about this before. I don't know if we did so in the podcast.
Yes.
Why is it Wizards going back to Dominaria? We love Dominaria.
It was my huge rant about them being focused on like nostalgia, and what's more nostalgic for a Magic the Gathering player than Dominaria. And if they're banking on nostalgia, and they're setting, they said they put a Strixhaven with all the settings they could do for Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
They did Strixhaven and not Dominaria in the year they were banking. Like last year, they were banking on actually like last year, kind of this year. It's been a while. It's been a while since they've been banking on nostalgia. They have been doing it for a while, and Dominaria is just like the prime real estate. It's just there, sitting open for the D&D world.
Yeah.
I am definitely super excited about this, and I will probably not shut up about it as soon as it releases.
Same.
And then
we got the one that I'm loving the most.
You just gotta wait, and then until they don't announce a D&D book for Dominaria, and then you'll be sad.
Yeah,
So
no,
fun.
then I'll just come to the podcast, and we'll just have like a whole 30-minute session of me ranting about why the hell didn't Wizards do the thing. It'll be great. Win-win situation.
The final set that's coming next year, from the main sets, I mean, is finally the Brothers' War, and it says the story continues in Dominaria with the Brothers' War, where Magic's famous brothers Urza and Mishra is returning to settle the score. What started as a feud between two powerful brothers erupted into an all-out war that set into motion the future of the plane and the multiverse itself. Through the lens of Dominaria's locations, characters, and victims of the conflict, we see a plane-spanning conflict escalate with artifacts, giant mechs, and beyond.
I am Team Mishra.
I am Team Urza, obviously.
I know Urza wins, but Ashnod is Mishra, and I have to choose Ashnod.
I am Team Urza, even though I just keep looking at Urza, and I just
Mishra's much
genocide on his forehead, just like clearly.
Mishra's actual card is much more interesting than Urza's card.
No,
you actually have to think.
No.
Do you think when you play
Urza's card is just more powerful, to be honest, but it's not that interesting.
You play artifacts.
I just think how I'm going to beat you
win
this time. Yeah, I just think of how I'm going to beat you this time.
The same way.
Thinking
you don't. It's not that difficult.
I'm sorry. Like Urza is a powerful card, but it's not an interesting card. Like there's just nothing like fun or like quirky about it. It's just
extremely powerful.
I put it on the board, and I win now. It's like everybody just looks at you like
it's so quirky. He's like, "Hey guys, I win, right? I just next game now. Scoop, just scoop already. Why do I need to click play? Scoop."
It's like standing around and saying, "I casted God." Like, come on, it's over. I won, right?
It does seem though that it's not like a flashback. It seems to be in current timeline because it says the story continues in Dominaria.
It's the way they phrased it, I suppose.
Right?
So I don't know if they're like if we're going to the past starting in Dominaria United, and then we're going to the Brothers War, like kind of saying like Dominaria was at some point like more cohesive, and then came the Brothers War and like fragmented everything, which I kind of see it. Because Dominaria actually was kind of better off before Urza started with it. Urza and Mishra started with their bullshit.
Of course.
But I don't know if Dominaria was united at the time. That's like a bit of a strong word.
It's either that, or since it's implying like stuff of the plane and the multiverse, it could imply that it's a different Urza from another timeline, and they just like portals open and shit. And
I don't think so.
I don't think they're gonna.
I don't think they're gonna mess with time as much as they've already done.
I mean, they feel. Yeah. I feel like they look into the MCU a lot. So
I feel like they could mess with time, but I feel like if they did mess with time, the problem with like messing with the Brothers War in the timeline is that it's just such a like prominent and like powerful event in the timeline that changed the multiverse forever. So if they mess with the timeline of the Brothers War, they will literally mess with like the entire history of Magic the Gathering. And I don't like, you would have to rethink what's going on with Nicole Bolas and Ugin, unless they just kind of like, I don't know, write it off and be like, like everything remained the same, but these like key events change or something. Like
we're thinking too much into it. It's probably just a callback. It's just a callback. We're just going back. We're just actually seeing what happened again. It's just I don't feel like it's gonna.
Which I think is really good, to be honest. I would have no issue if out of like every, for example, 4 sets that Magic releases, at least one of them is like a flashback to like our, like alpha, beta, or like
our history or whatever,
and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, I think that would be freaking amazing.
Oh my
I don't know.
God.
It would just be really cool to see like old stuff in like new art and stuff, and just rework to like work with the current environment that we have in Standard Commander and all of our
It'd
favorite
be so
formats.
hilarious if eventually, since they do retro borders and stuff, if they did retro white border.
I would go insane.
See, you would go insane, but let's
would
not
go
kid ourselves.
insane.
Throughout Magic's history, generally people don't like white border, but maybe we're at the time where it's so nostalgic that people might accept white border cards again.
I would love
Which
that.
would be
dude.
so hilarious because
I would
boomer
love
Magic
that.
players would flip their shit
Yes.
because they hate white border. I'm like,
know.
I understand why, because I have older white border cards and they do like get stained
they
so
stained.
easily.
Yes,
So easily.
I have
So
like
that's the
three.
problem with them.
Like out of my million Ashnod's Altar, like I have like 3 of them that are white border.
Yeah, like they stain so stupidly easily. So that's part of the problem. Okay, so those are the main sets. So supplementary sets, there's a bunch of them. So there's the Innistrad double feature.
I
The
like
Innistrad
what I'm
double
looking
feature-
at.
Yeah, like the Innistrad double feature. What it basically is a curated cards from Innistrad's Midnight Hunt and Innistrad's Crimson Vow to create a unique draft experience featuring the special theatrical horror movie art treatment on every card. So it's basically a way to resell you Innistrad yet again, but it also kind of implies that maybe these sets are kind of like weird, smaller sets that we were kind of like hinting at for a while.
Yeah,
now.
the Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh style.
Exactly. The
Like,
smaller
and that's
type
actually
of sets.
that's actually very interesting.
Mhm.
I feel like that's actually very interesting. Like I'm glad it's a bit experimental with this.
Yeah.
It's like taking, here you go, set A. Here you go, set B.
Mhm.
Now here you go, set A and B, but
Yeah.
like in a different style.
I like the idea of these being like draft boosters though, just because it would
Thank
be
God,
so
right?
fun to just draft. No, but I know, but like I'm just saying that it would be really fun to like do like a theme draft kind of deal where you just have like the double feature Innistrad draft and everyone's just playing like these like horror movie cards. I think that'd be pretty cool, even
That'd be
though.
cool.
You know, for cracking boosters, it's obviously not the best alternative, but
Of course. I don't know. Agreed.
But I like that it's supplementary as well.
Oh, see, of
That is
course.
something like huge.
Of course, the good thing about having the Innistrad double feature going on is that it'll just tank these prices to high hell. Like anything remotely decent in this set, which they probably already know what kind of cards are going to be the good ones, repackaging them yet again with a different artwork again, it's just going to tank all these Innistrad prices, which is great for us because we're going to get like all those new lands and shit for like basically pennies on the dollar. We're going to talk about those spoilers soon. So,
yes.
The next supplementary product is Unfinity.
Yes,
which
another
is, you know,
unset. I thought we
another
weren't getting
unset.
another unset, which is why I'm so happy to see this, and it
Mhm.
looks so freaking wacky.
So it's Magic's 5th Silver Border unset to take place in a fun space carnival setting. The set will contain its iconic science fiction themed full art basic lands and shock lands in both draft and collector booster packs. So it's kind of interesting. They have shock lands and potentially they might be full art, which is kind of cool if they do something weird or wacky like that, because then it actually gives value to these boosters. Because my problem always with these unsets were that the only value it had was basic lands, but if they actually include shock lands, that's kind of cool. So what do you guys think?
I'm surprised that they're making another one. Like, I'm actually really surprised considering Mark Rosewater has said like he did say that, oh yeah, this is like these are the last ones. They weren't successful. Like the original 2 weren't that successful, and then like the last one was actually pretty successful in terms of like popularity. I don't know if they made their money like in comparison, because it was a bit before the pandemic and the real boom of like buying hadn't started yet. But in popularity, it was pretty popular. So like maybe they just decided, hey, like people like this has no effect on the secondary market whatsoever. Basically, we can build, we can go crazy testing mechanics, which is very interesting. They can just like test new mechanics and see, okay, let's make broken mechanics and see how we can implement like nerf and or buff these mechanics and implement them in the actual game. So I'm actually very excited to see what they come up with. It's just a very cool testing ground.
Mm-hmm. Because, for example, Mutate, that was a
Mutate
joke
is
years
Mutate,
ago,
yeah,
and now it became a thing.
Yeah, and it's just there's a few other mechanics.
Yeah,
It's
having
just-
like lifelink in spells, like spell slinging cards. You
Yes.
Yeah.
throw a bolt in someone's face and you can actually
in
heal
this
yourself.
case, there's a few things that have like trample and spells.
Exactly, that too.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's like you said, that's the fun part of it. Okay. Christopher, read the next one.
Let's see. Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate.
And here's a description.
I am excited about this as well. I'm excited about everything they've done. So, focusing on the city of Baldur's Gate and building on the Commander first gameplay of 2019's Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate brings in iconic characters, new mechanics, more flavorful spells from D&D, which triple exciting.
Mhm.
Plus Commander Legend style foil etched legendary creatures, all packed into on an even greater social experience.
So, what do you think about this, Chris?
I'm just excited to get more Baldur's Gate content in my Magic content. Like I think this is really
double
fun.
whammy.
Yeah. Like, and the fact that it's a Commander Legends set that is focused on Baldur's Gate, like I just want more, man. Like if Wizards keeps putting D&D stuff in Magic, I will have no complaints whatsoever. I'm like in love with what like Wizards is doing here. I really am.
What about you, Ringo?
I hate it because I guess I feel like it's gonna take a lot of space from Commander Legends. It's going to be a lot of D&D flavored cards, which is cool. But having it in the premier Commander Legends that comes only once, clearly every 2 years, apparently, you're gonna have a lot of cool dungeony cards, which is great. You're gonna have a lot of those mechanics, and probably they're gonna like have the party mechanic. Hopefully this time they have the stupid party mechanic in full, and it's gonna like round out all the issues that maybe the Forgotten Realms had in terms of making it Commander viable. This is gonna make it finally Commander viable. You can finally have your D&D Commander deck in full, but at the cost, I feel, of being able to push Commander cards even further, because I love Commander Legends, the first one. It's probably even more so than maybe like Modern Horizons 2. I love Commander Legends even more so, I feel. Like I love that set. It's a fantastic set. It's a cheap set. It has great cards, great reprints, and I feel that this one might sacrifice a lot of those spaces for having a lot of D&D stuff that's geared towards Commander, so they're able to push the mechanics that they establish in the D&D set, and maybe a party mechanic or whatever. They're able to push it here because it's Commander. But like, unless they do stuff like maybe having a D&D flavored Soul Ring or a D&D flavor Arcane Signet, I would be kind of upset if they have like a bunch of these allocated spaces just for brand new D&D cards. That's the only thing I'm thinking. Like, it's cool because a lot of people are gonna love it, but since I didn't love like the Forgotten Realms set because I don't have any connection to D&D, taking this premiere set and just mixing it with D&D and allocating a lot of the new space to D&D cards as opposed to great reprints and cards that push the boundaries of Commander, that's the only thing that has me a little saddened.
I didn't think about that because I was just thinking like this would be the perfect like mix in between. Mostly because a lot of the like powerful effects from D&D were kind of misrepresented in the set. Like power word kill kills anything with power, like with life 100 or less. And it just in the actual card it's just non-dragons, non-demons, non-angels. Everything else is viable, which it makes sense. But if you get it in theory through the game mechanics, you should be able to still kill something like that if its health were low enough. Yeah. Thinking on how the Vorpal sword, how kind of shitty it is, the actual card in comparison to what the actual card does. Sure, the Purple Sword has the ability to maybe win you the game, but it's very, very unlikely. Just a
Isn't
lot
it
of
just as unlikely as getting an at 20? I mean, like
No.
and then getting like
No, not if you're playing a fighter. You remember, like, we finished a campaign recently in summer. My fighter attacked could attack up to like 7 times per turn. Getting a crit was not that hard.
yeah.
The probabilities go down by a lot. Like, actually, go up by a lot. If you just, if it's like 7 attacks, it's like 7 out of 20, which is I mean, that's not the exact probability. Is a lot better, but getting a 20 is not that hard if you keep rolling that many dice. But like just a few card mechanics and game mechanics that feel like they should have been stronger, but they weren't. And to the effect of like those reprints you want, a lot of the reprints they could add in this type of sets could be reflavored into the Dungeons and Dragons feel. What card, like off the top of your head, any card you would like to be reprinted?
Mana Crypt.
Mana Crypt could literally just work in a D&D.
Imperial Seal. That's the other one.
That could also work in D&D.
Yes, definitely could work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if they make them D&D flavored, which could be a thing as well that they do.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. But they have to have some iconic commander reprints that we desperately need and shove them there. Then, like if they do that, I'll be fine. But if they do a complete stupid set of just D&D cards that are more powerful because they just go straight to Commander and Legacy and Vintage, then I'm just gonna be upset.
Okay.
Yeah,
I understand your concern. I didn't think about that, and it's like a very valid concern.
Yeah. Okay, so next set. JP, what's the next set?
Double Masters.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Another one. Another one.
Double Masters in 2022 will also come with 2 foil cards and 2 rare or mythic rare cards in each draft booster, with even more powerful reprints and a multicolored draft focus.
That just sounds so much more expensive.
That last part, though.
Yeah.
Multicolored draft focus. Have you ever has any of you actually played MTGO?
Yeah.
No.
So I haven't played MTGO, but I've seen a billion drafts of Cube in MTGO, and there's one cube that was just basically a chaos cube, which is like a chaos draft, which is just random sets from everywhere. But the focus, it was like curated chaos draft. So the focus was multicolored cards. It creates such a fun drafting experience because your decks, you're drafting. You're gonna be drafting individually powerful cards, but very slow. So everyone's gonna have a chance to play their stuff.
Okay.
So it becomes a bit of a slugfest and a bit of a bit battle cruisery, where you just play the biggest thing you can and hope it sticks. Because generally speaking, multicolor removal is a bit rarer than monocolor removal, and that's the focus on this. So I'm just thinking all the possibilities of the things they could add.
Do you think we get like new monocolor removal, or is like the master set not like injecting any new content?
They're injecting that one, the Aminatu.
But Aminatu is like a planeswalker that's already.
No,
yeah,
it's not on like modern.
No, it's not a modern card.
But
it's not going to be injected because the master set doesn't. Wait, shit.
Yeah, but it's like the logo for the Double Masters 2022 isn't even like the final logo. I don't think they unveiled art, did they?
Yeah,
these master sets don't go into modern.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. You're completely right. It's just a reprint set. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's just
totally
a bunch of ridiculously powerful multicolored cards.
I know. I just assume now that all these sets just inject into somewhere. Yeah, no. I'm getting confused with all these products. Yeah,
but
you're right.
It was a nice little break. but now we're back, and
Yeah.
we're back with a bunch of sets. So yeah,
Insane.
just a bunch of powerful multicolor cards. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sounds super. It's like super unbalanced, but like I guess like if everything's unbalanced, nothing is.
True.
So,
but I feel like the problem this set might have
Yeah.
is just gonna be ridiculously expensive, even more so than Double Masters 1. And Double Masters 1, I did I buy a box? I did I no, I don't think I bought a box of Double
No,
Masters.
I didn't. But is that the one that came with like the Karn box topper, or was that the other like?
Wait, yeah, then I did buy a Double
Yeah.
Masters box. I got
like
shit.
It was Karn and like Ulamog as like a box topper. You could get like a bunch of
No,
cool
I
ones.
got like really shitty ones. I don't even remember how bad they were.
Sad.
Like they were really bad. The good part about this one though, the Double Masters, is that at launch, those reprints were very powerful, very good reprints, and they were all like dirt cheap. That was a good thing about this. And they were dirt cheap for a while. Maybe right now they're not anymore.
they are.
But the box though, the box itself, I know was like super expensive. It was like almost 250 or something, like maybe 300. And this one having the 2 foil cards is bullshit. Like I feel like it's gonna be more expensive because I do not remember them having double foil. I know they have double rare and or mythic. But what they do is, since it's double, you get double the good rarity.
That's in the
it's
and that's
double
in the
price.
draft booster though. Is it implied that we're gonna have like the draft booster and the set booster in this one as well?
Oh, we're gonna have all 3. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have the draft, the set, and we're gonna have the collectors. I'm definitely like I'm banking on it that you're gonna do that, or at least they're gonna have the draft and the collectors for sure. They're not gonna miss out on that because I think what they did for this one, they did the VIP packs, which were the $100 ones that had like the 1 booster, and that everything was foil in it. So they might just do something crazy like that again as well. Okay, so
You got really lucky on those, if I'm mistaken.
I never opened those.
Didn't you get like a foil mana vault?
No, the mana vault came because of another thing. That was years ago. That was years
Yeah,
ago.
no,
that was
I'm
because
just
of something else.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about.
Yeah. So Jumpstart 2022 is the final supplementary product that's coming in 2022. It just says it's a new 2 magic card in every pack, dozens of themes to mix and match for fun with plenty of reprints. What do you guys think?
I had like zero, like I really had no idea like what was up with Jumpstart until I like went to my it wasn't an LGS, it was a the store that opened in Aguadilla in the mall.
Yeah.
That I think is by Josue too from ISD Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there and actually bought like some boosters and I actually got lucky. Actually, what did I buy? I think I bought like 1 or 2 boosters and I actually got a Ristic Study out of one of them. And I'm like, you know what?
Nice.
I might have to start buying some more of this Jumpstart stuff. So I kind of saw like, you know, for the first time I like opened a pair of these boosters and saw like the whole like color theming and all that. And I was like, you know what? I got to play some of this Jumpstart stuff because this actually looks like tons of fun. And if Jumpstart 2022 is going to have any kind of like, you know, probability of getting a really fun reprints, like let's say just popping up with like a Ristic Study or something like that as well, I can't say anything else, but like, you know, I welcome it. Like, sounds fantastic. You were saying, JP?
Jumpstart, like the original Jumpstart was like underappreciated and it had really, really, really good cards. I compared the original Jumpstart to Conspiracy 2. It was just confined between too many sets. And thus it got overshadowed.
That's interesting.
But Conspiracy 2 had a lot of really good cards. Jumpstart, the original Jumpstart, had a really good cards. I hope this one doesn't get overshadowed, but if it does, then you'll find a lot of cards like being very cheap. The original Jumpstart, if I'm not mistaken, didn't drop in price at all because of scarcity. So hopefully they fix that problem.
That problem's fixed. You can go to like an ISD. You can go to like wherever.
Oh, but it was very expensive at one point.
Yes, it was.
Scarcity.
Yes, it was because this happened kind of during the pandemic. So what happened was there was a scarcity, and the really good reprints like that Broken Elf, for example, shot up to like $80 because no one could get a hold of it.
The most like the strongest card I've played with in Jumpstart was Muxus Goblin General.
Yeah,
the Goblin Dundee.
Yeah.
I don't know, Chris. You don't have that card in your Goblin deck. like
Muxio.
Muxus,
Muxus.
Muxus.
Yeah, I know. I really want
He
it, but
is
it's expensive.
absolutely like that card
Broken.
makes an entire goblin deck.
Yeah. It's
That's the
broken as shit.
reason. Like you play Goblin Matron to look for Goblin Recruiter. You play Goblin Recruiter and put Muxus on top, and any number of six of six goblins that are cost like I think is 5 or less on the top.
That's it. You just win.
Then you put the last one has to be like the Goblin ringleader, and then you put 4 more goblins. So you play Muxus, reveal the top 6, put all the goblins into play. Ringleader triggers, reveal the top 4. Oh look, it's 4 more goblins. You draw 4 cards, and your field is just it's enormous just because you played 1 card. I mean, guess like the whole thing can trigger off of Goblin Recruiter or Matron, or if you even get Muxus, just by blind playing Muxus in a Goblin deck. It's just
Still
ridiculous.
got really good chances of pulling
It's
like
just-
some really cool
And
stuff.
when he attacks, he gets +1/+1 for each goblin. It doesn't
Yeah.
even the goblins don't even have to be attacking,
Yeah.
which is the crazy part. Most of those effects are +1/+0 or +2/+0, and the goblins need to be attacking. He doesn't care. That card is bonkers.
It's really good. The good thing about Jumpstart 2, now there's a lot of availability of Jumpstart, so Jumpstart isn't even that expensive anymore. I think you can get a box maybe for 120, and all the cards have drastically dropped in price except some of the key ones that are actually staples. But there's a lot of product at Jumpstart, so it's like you said, it's conspiracy, but conspiracy also had a lot of scarcity when it came out. At least this one you can still it's readily available and it's dirt cheap yet, like for now. If you give it a couple of more months or like a year, it might start to become like rare to find Jumpstart. But it's a great experience playing Jumpstart. Like I played it with Fabiola a couple of times during the
Awesome.
pandemic and stuff. Super fun experience. It's like, oh, you don't have a deck? Great. Let's just get 2 boosters, and it literally has the lands too. So you just shuffle it up like you're playing kitchen table magic in the 90s. Just throw your shit cards because most of them are just shit. Oh, JP left.
Yeah, no sleeves, just
No.
put 'em on
Oh
there.
yeah, literally. Because I'll be honest, I didn't draft any. I didn't pull anything good in Jumpstart. I didn't pull anything decent in my Jumpstart box at all.
That is so sad.
That's what. But it was good because it was like kind of like, oh, you just take all these 40
Yeah,
shaft cards.
You could actually
shuffle them up.
like play Magic the way the gods intended you to play
Yes.
Magic instead
Yes.
of, oh no, wait, I have to
Yes.
put all these cards in
Richard
sleeves because they're
Garfield.
worth more than my whole life.
Exactly. Richard Garfield from the heavens was like, yes, son, yes, this is all I wanted you to do all my life. Just get them dirt up, get them all fucked up. That's all I wanted you to do. That's why they're cardboard.
Get that Black Lotus, just like put it in the
Yeah,
dirt,
yeah,
bury
put it
it,
in the
pull
dirt.
it back out, play it,
Yeah,
rip it apart once you sacrifice it.
but it's a fun experience. Like for sure, Jumpstart is really fun to be able to just get 2 boosters and play with friends, and you get a bunch of games out of it. So they also introduced Universes Beyond, the thing that we were afraid of last year.
But the way they introduced it, I am not. See, this is the proper way.
Yes. Oh yeah, of course. I'm gonna
See,
go into
a
this.
lot of our concerns have been. Hopefully, they don't go back on their word, but
Yeah,
Hopefully, yes. So Universes
as
Beyond
the
is
corporates tend to do, of course.
Exactly. Universes Beyond is a sub-brand of Magic the Gathering that exists in addition to and alongside the regular line of products. This set features in the series consists of products such as Secret Layers, Commander decks, and even make their way into Magic Arena. So the first one we're going to be discussing is Warhammer for 400,000.
40K, you
Sorry,
heathen.
40K. No. Magic meets Warhammer 40K with 4 commander decks featuring new art, new cards, and powerful reprints. The cool thing about this one is that this one addresses our concerns because there's going to be readily available product. It's not going to be like a secret layer that you can only get if you're in the United States and nowhere else. And it's super expensive once the drop doesn't exist anymore. This one, there's going to be a bunch of products, so you'll always be able to get your hands on the Warhammer 40K commander decks. So this one addresses concerns. What do you guys
it
think?
also addresses the concern in terms of the like the type of set it's coming into. It's
Yes.
not going into like directly into standard or
Mhm.
a modern format. In this case, Legacy and Vintage always have access to these cards.
Yes.
But generally speaking, it does answer that type of concern. I'm glad they're starting out with Warhammer, mostly because it's close enough in terms of the type of experimentation they've in for magic. Like there's magic in the Warhammer universe. We've seen a lot more like now with Kamigawa and other sets between steampunk and now cyberpunk. We've seen like that area into diving into sci-fi, which Warhammer also delves into, like orcs and goblins and those type of stuff. Fantasy races, they're also in Warhammer. So at least Warhammer per se is like one of the safer,
IPs.
like safer IPs to integrate into Magic.
Yeah.
I am personally not as como era like Gile or the store owner from Granuja. When we had him as a guest, we were talking about these about universes beyond, and I was like the discordant voice about
Yes.
saying how this is a horrible idea.
It was like
I'm not
me and Gila
that.
being super excited about it, and then just like
Yes.
JP like, oh, and I'm like, but.
It's the end of magic.
I'm not as bad on it now. How because they've actually they've elaborated more on what they are going to do,
I completely agree with
and
you.
and
Yeah.
that relieves a lot of concerns.
Now, do you think that universes beyond could eventually become just kind of like Magic 2?
Electric Boogaloo and no,
Yeah, Electric Boogaloo.
no, that's fine.
Well, there is one set that we're gonna address soon that might make that Magic 2.0. So the other thing that they announced is Fortnite, because you gotta get the Gen Zers, you gotta get the young kids, the
Look, man,
10-year-olds.
like
The
I hate
Fortnite
Fortnite.
kids.
I really do. I despise Fortnite. But honestly, I'm not mad at it.
Fortnite.
You know what? I'm like not mad at it.
It's two
Honestly.
secret layer drops consisting of reprints of this popular battle royale game by Epic Games. And we're gonna probably see Jace in Fortnite, so that's gonna be awesome. So
I hate it, but I hate it. I hate it for other reasons, mostly because
Okay.
Fortnite. It was this time. I have a history of Fortnite.
Okay.
I bought Fortnite. Let me revert. I bought Fortnite.
Okay, so we understand why you hate it.
It was before Battle Royale,
Yeah.
and they said, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be this thing," and they didn't like. It was not that thing at all.
They lied to you.
And
They use your money.
and then they used my money to make
A
Battle
Royale.
gazillion dollars.
A gazillion.
Dollars.
On the previous set, however, on the 40K thing, I just do hope that a lot of these IPs, other than the fact that they're like, doing the collab and we're getting like cards based on these IPs, I really do hope that we see material from Magic inserted into these IPs as well, just because, I don't know.
It brings more people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it brings more people to like for everything. Like, it brings, for example, we got Fortnite. It'll probably bring Fortnite players to Magic and Magic players to Fortnite, which, but I also I was thinking about like Warhammer 40K, and I'm thinking to myself, how awesome would it be? Like, to those of you who are familiar with like war games, I'm not that familiar with it. I just like painting figures and stuff.
Yeah.
But to those of you who are familiar with war games, just imagine you're just like playing like your good old game of Warhammer 40K, and at the other end of the table, you got a big, majestic Nicole Bolas directing your armies. Oh man, I would die. I would die on the spot.
Well, I'm just happy that at least in terms of this secret layer drop is going to be reprints. It's not going to be like you're not going to have cards. I don't know what's a Fortnite character here, but whatever a Fortnite character could be.
Fortnite actually has lore, so I got to give
exactly.
That.
That's what I'm saying.
Does it?
I don't know. I feel like its
look,
lore is.
Look, on the bright side, there's a possibility of having rip-off Keanu Reeves in a secret layer. Like, that's enough for
just
me.
in case you realize
Keanu Reeves, he's actually been in the game.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Like Fortnite it was a zombie game. You know that, right?
Yeah. That's the lore. That's all the lore
that
you
would
have.
be beautiful. That would be beautiful.
They're not going
A zombie token just to like slap JP in the face.
It's gonna be a decay zombie just for adding insult to injury. The lore that Fortnite has is equivalent to Funko Pop. That's the lore that it has. It just has everything.
But it actually does have like a story. I was like going over like a few things. They actually do have like a running story though. I haven't like really read it per se, but it's like, oh, like, you know, like the secret agents and doing stuff, and there's like betrayals and shit, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
Then
Maybe
Ariana Grande makes a concert, and then Thanos snaps half the universe.
Is that not how it works in real life? Like, you know, some weird shit happens out in the universe, and then the next day, like Ariana Grande has a concert. It's fine, you know.
Yeah, that's why Fortnite has so much money. I mean, I appreciate that Fortnite exists because then we got Epic Game Store, and I am one of the few people that defend Epic Game Store. So
I defend it. I hate everything they do, but they have so many great free games.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and well, they have competitive prices too. Like I've actually bought games there because they're actually cheaper than Steam.
Cheaper than Steam or anywhere else for that matter.
The bad thing that they have is their client is shit. Like their client is arguably shit. But yeah. So we also have Street Fighter. It's also a secret layer. Magic will be joining Street Fighter's 35th anniversary with its own secret layer drop, featuring the fighting game's iconic characters as mechanically unique cards. That's the scary part. This includes the likes of Chun-Li, who will be appropriately have a multi-kicker ability. That's cute. Now, they didn't address this here, but they did say in the live stream that even though these will be mechanically unique cards, later on in sets in Magic sets in the future, there will be a Chun-Li equivalent card in a Magic set. It won't be Chun-Li, it will be something else, whatever.
This is what they should have done. Yeah, this is exactly like, see, yeah.
Yes.
Print that human card.
They could still do it with The Walking Dead because they mentioned it, but
yeah.
I hope I really wanted them to reprint that Rick card in like the Innistrad set because it's like one of the things that made so much sense.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully they go through with that, and we don't take forever to see the Chun-Li equivalent card in a Magic set. Hopefully, like, you know, let's say the secret lair drops in summer, and by the Brothers War, by Dominaria United, since Kicker is obviously a nostalgic mechanic, they have a Chun-Li equivalent as a legendary creature.
Monk.
Exactly, just a normal monk, and it has multi-kicker. Like, if they do that, I'll be fine. No concerns here, no bells ringing. But if a year passes and we do not see any of these stupid cards at all in any of these standardized sets, I will flip a lid because they did promise this shit. And I know people are going to freak out as well. So we'll see. And finally, the Lords of the Rings take on of Middle Earth. This set will actually be available in Arena because it is designed as Lord of the Rings franchise will make its way to Magic the Gathering as a set designed for booster draft, and these cards will be legal in Modern as well as Historic. So this one is the interesting one because we always had the assumption.
This is the one that threads the needle.
Exactly.
It's like you're using Lord of the Rings, so like you're messing with our hearts now.
I'm like too happy about it. It's like you're gonna give me like D&D and Lord of the Rings like in my favorite like card game ever. Come on, man! To me, this is amazing news. I want to like cry, man.
But this is the threading of the needle, as JP suggests. One thing is D&D. D&D is a thing that they own, but now we're talking about Lord of the Rings. They don't own this shit. It does make sense thematically. It does make sense genre.
That's why I'm just like Lord of the Rings. Like you're using the safe bet. The cardboard crack comic is slowly becoming true. And who knows if we eventually get a DC EU takes on Gotham City set and it is introduced into Modern directly, and then we have the Batman card. So
I would love the Batman secret layer so much. Come on, you know you would. You know you've seen the memes. It looks so good.
I would buy it. I would buy it.
Yes,
of course,
I'd buy the living crap out of it.
But this is the one that kind of threads the needle because what our understanding of Universes Beyond, and Morrow said it himself, is that it would be like a separate thing. It would be something that you would just It'll be cool, pretty cardboard that would not interfere with the established lore of Magic itself. But this one kind of like
you already know they're gonna make broken cards so that set sells.
Of course.
I mean, do they even have to make broken cards for a Lord of the Rings set to sell?
They do because a lot of people are against this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to justify it competitively that Gandalf the Grey is a good card, because if not, no one's gonna play this set ever. Yeah. So they will have to be broken. And I'm pretty sure they will be, because it's Lord of the Rings. Do you really not think they're gonna make a broken Frodo card? Like, I'm pretty sure they will. Do you not think that the ring
be blocked by creatures 2 or greater, and then when you put the ring on him, he just like, you can't target him. There you go.
The ring to rule them all or something, legendary artifact.
It gives them hexproof.
No, it costs 0. It's probably gonna be like a Mox. It gives you mana, but it also wins you the game in a few turns or some bullshit.
No, come on. There's got to be a downside to the ring.
I mean,
there's always a downside.
It loses you the game unless you control Sauron.
Ooh,
or Frodo.
Like, but I feel it's gonna be like a Mox type of card. I don't know why. I feel like it's gonna be like a Shiryu card.
Chris, just in case, you do understand what the ring does, and
yes, makes you.
Frodo was not in control. He was losing control.
But he chucked it into Mount Doom. It's fine.
Did he really, or did he really, or did Sam just kind of forced him to?
You're not wrong. However, I was just thinking about Mount Doom as a land. That like, my brain just like went like poop, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that'd be a cool land.
I know that you guys especially have been concentrating on like the implications of this set coming into Magic, but my brain is just on another wavelength, just thinking about like what cards are going to come out. Am I going to get small? I can never pronounce his fucking name. Smog. Yeah, we'll go with Smog. Smog sounds great. It sounds like a smoggy dragon. It's great. But are we gonna get Smog? Are we gonna get we gotta get Bilbo and Frodo and all the characters? Sauron has got to look insane, especially because I noticed that they're using different art. Like, it's not inspired by the movies; it's more like inspired by like the books. Or I don't know if I know there's like an animated movie from The Hobbit, but I haven't seen it.
I'm not sure what era they're gonna use, or if they're just gonna use Lord of the Rings in general. Because Morgoth would be interesting. Morgoth is like Sauron's master.
Okay.
Before Sauron became like the big baddie, Morgoth was the big baddie.
Before Sauron became Nicole Bolas, there was a Yawgmoth before him.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But oh man, I'm like ridiculously excited over like this set. Like, my brain is just exploding right now with like ideas of what could possibly like come out, and I really do wonder how far into the lore they're gonna go. Are they gonna go like way back? Are we just gonna be seeing like the main line, like 3 Lord of the Rings movies?
Okay.
Are we going to have a future set? Like, for example, this set is like about the 3 main Lord of the Rings movies, and then the next set is like the Hobbit based or something. Or maybe in the future we get like a Silmarillion set. And I'm like,
Chris, okay, you talking about this? See, this is the problem with it being Lord of the Rings. It's like, fuck, so many good characters. So Tom Bombadil, he doesn't appear in the movies because they forcefully they omitted him. Tom Bombadil touches the ring and is like, oh, this is cute, and gives it back. Not tempted whatsoever. In the lore, it's speculated that Tom Bombadil, when they meet him, he's like, if I'm not mistaken, he has like a beautiful, he's like a bearded. He looks like dwarvish, but he's like a small man, kind of like. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't remember the details. He has like a beautiful wife, and he's like not tempted by the ring whatsoever. And it's kind of implied that he's actually Eru. The god so just
I forget
just
which one that was. Was Eru the one that like tried to create that created the dwarves in the Silmarillion, or
Eru created everything.
Okay,
not the dwarves specifically, but basically everything. Eru is like the top dog.
Yeah. I barely remember anyone's name.
And Tom Bombadil is basically Eru. At least that's what's implied. So Eru might not get a card, but Tom might.
So
And
kind
it's
of
just-
like the Urza thing. Like originally we never got the Urza card. Instead, we just got like the Raven Man.
blind
Not
seer.
the Raven Man, the Blind Seer. There we go.
Yeah, blind seer, kind of like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Well, that's the end of
Implications.
the old the new Magic that we'll be getting in 2022. It does seem like a lot, sort of. I think the problem is that when you
It's the
sprinkle in so
supplementaries.
many, yeah, when you
It is a
sprinkle in
lot.
so many supplementary, and when you sprinkle in so much secret layers, that's what it gets like overwhelming. And
I
think
also
that's part of the
feel like
problem.
at some point Wizards is probably gonna like release like more like little products in between, and that's like it's just gonna be a replay of like last year in terms of like product.
Yeah,
Which on one hand it's like same as last year. It's exciting that we're getting so much Magic product, but then what are going to be like the negatives of that? The fact that we're getting so much Magic product, like how is that gonna affect everything else?
The negative is I can't buy everything.
exactly.
To be honest, yeah.
Well, they also announced, because we're never getting a break of anything, it's perpetual hype.
Yeah.
We got the brand new Innistrad spoilers. Yay!
Spooky season has arrived.
Spookies forever until
Spooky,
December.
Scary zombies, werewolves, vampires, and skeletons.
Yes,
And
exactly.
humans and,
And humans,
planeswalkers and
Planeswalkers.
eldritch shit.
So
Yep.
we had already covered up to Renin 7,
Yes, sir.
so we can start in
Arlen.
with Arlen.
Yeah, go ahead. And it introduces
Uh,
new mechanics. So let me
yes.
unpack it right here. There you go.
Arlen, the Pack's Hope.
Garbage.
So-
The garbage is hope. I'm
So
sorry.
Yes, the
legendary
garbage.
planeswalker Arlen with 4 loyalty. Daybound. If a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn.
Mhm.
+1. Until your next turn, you may cast creature spells as though they have flash, and each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1 counter. And the -3 is create 2/2 green wolf creature tokens.
It has 4
The
loyalty
flips-
to start.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the flip
I do
side
find
is
it interesting. Yeah,
Arlen
go
the
ahead.
Moon Fury with Nightbound. Her +2 adds a green and a red, and her 0 makes her a 5/5 trample indestructible haste.
Mhm.
Uh,
It also has Nightbound. Which
I
is-
mentioned. I mentioned.
No,
that?
but if a player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn, it becomes day the next turn. So that's how
yes.
you flip it around. It introduces a new mechanic of Daybound and Nightbound. You're gonna get cards that actually exemplify day and night. As I explained to JP, because JP was a little confused on how it works.
So, wait,
bef-
like, just
yeah.
in case, when she enters, it is neither day nor night. But the
Yes.
next turn,
No.
it's no.
when she enters the battlefield, if it's neither day or night, it becomes day, because she is day bound. It's like an enter the battlefield trigger, I
Okay.
guess. Yeah, it
I think
checks
it's
the
similar
board.
to like ascend. I think it just kind of
Yes.
works the same way. The same way, like for example.
No, Ascend is very intuitive. I have 10 permanents. Ascend.
No, yeah, I know, but like you know how like when you already have your 10 permanents on floor, you don't have ascend. It's just when you play a card that has
has
ascend
ascend,
is when
yes.
you gain ascend by like having the 10
That's
permanents on the floor.
Kind of the
Yeah,
best
but
way
she
to. Yeah.
She doesn't explicitly say when she enters the battlefield, it's automatically day. She
Yeah,
is
but it's-
day bound, but her ability says if a player casts no spells during their own
True.
turn, it
Yeah.
becomes night the next turn.
I agree.
Do you
Yeah.
understand? That's my confusion.
I guess that in this
Is that a
case, Wizards
token?
might have
Is that a
thought that
token?
it was kind of implicit that like
Yeah. Because the
That if
little
she has
token card
Daybound-
that I don't have here, I thought I had it in this website, but the little token card that
Really
explains day,
appear.
in the upper card, in the upper part of the card, in the day part says, if it was night and you complied with the ability, it becomes day. If it's neither day or night and you put a card on that has Daybound enters the battlefield, it automatically becomes day. It kind of is like Ascend. Like you need a card to kind of like start the cycle. When the game starts, it is neither day nor night. You have to play either a card that says Daybound, or as we'll see soon enough, there's cards that if it's neither day nor night, it becomes day when that card enters the battlefield. There's a difference. You might be thinking, why don't you just call it Daybound? Because the Daybound also has a double function.
Yeah.
Daybound is for you to understand that if it's the first day-bound card you play, it becomes day. And the second meaning is that it shows you that that card has a night-bound equivalent to it. The other cards that just say if it's neither day or nor night, it becomes day. It is because it's not a double-face card, and it does not have a night-bound equivalent in the back. That's the kind of the best way to explain it. It's a little confusing, but at least it streamlines more this whole changing from day to night and transforming the cards that previous Innistrats had trouble kind of like doing.
Transforming is like, I understand the transform mechanics. It's just, when does the day bound trigger and like start? And that's my only.
Yeah. But now
it's still confusing, and it's like even when you explained it, I understood it, but I didn't actually understand it. Like it's just confusing. Anyways, I
think it does streamline a little bit better than how it was before, because now
like before,
all
your
the
opponents
cards
could affect you, like affect when your cards transform too, like even on your turn. But
it's
now
always been like that.
That's,
it's always been
no,
like
that's
that.
what I'm saying. But now in like the daybound thing, they can't, because it's when if it's when a player doesn't cast or either cast or doesn't cast.
It's always been like that
on their own turn.
It's always been like
so
that.
Your opponent can't affect that. Unless, other than like the transform mechanic, you couldn't like your opponent cast spells and transform your cards.
Crap.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, that makes
exactly.
sense, yeah.
So would you say that this new mechanic is stronger than the previous transform?
Yes, it would be stronger, because now you control if you're flipping them or not
on your turn at least.
Yeah. So Morrow also talked about this, because I was debating the fact that we should just errata the previous Innistrad cards so everything functions the same way, and Morrow said that no. Basically,
no.
in a lot of few words, he said just no. He's not going to do that. So the older cards are going to stick with the way that they are. And if you want to make your precious wolf deck, which I'm pretty sure everyone was planning on doing, your werewolf deck, you're kind of screwed a little bit, because you're going to have some of your cards are going to be daybound and nightbound, and other cards you're going to have to manually be able to flip them by doing the same thing of like no casting spells or casting 2, but your opponent can also screw you over in the previous Innistrad cards. The interesting part about daybound and nightbound also, if you are nightbound and you play a card that has daybound, it automatically flips into its nightbound mode as it enters the battlefield. This is also important to note. It forces all these cards to be on equal playing field once they enter the battlefield and once they are on the battlefield. So it kind of like homogenizes this whole thing, so you don't have like weird cards that when they enter, some of them are day, the other are night. I think they just wanted to make it make sense, and I think this is the way that they did it. They should have like a little video explaining this. I'm pretty sure maybe the video that they did explained it, but I never watched it. So I'm just going off the cards.
I think it's really cool lore-wise as well. Like lore-wise, when I say lore-wise in this case, referring to like how the game mechanics reflect how the plane like works, basically. I think it reflects it a lot better, and I think it's really cool to have that day and night mechanic and for everything to be on that same playing field.
Agreed.
I feel like it also balances things out a lot. Like you said, it just makes the whole gameplay process easier in general.
Agreed completely. So there's another few.
Unruly Mob is a reprint. The Devil might is interesting for Spellslingy because one of the mechanics we're going to talk about is flashback.
Sure. We got flashback again. Woohoo!
Yeah, we got flashback. The Snarling Wolf is
flashback.
Then we get the Angel.
The Angel's kind of interesting. So let me put it up here. There we go.
Okay. The Angel states she is Enduring Angel. 2 white for a creature angel, and she is a 3/3. She has flying double strike. You have hexproof. If your life total would be reduced to 0 or less, instead transform Enduring Angel and your life total becomes 3. Then, if Enduring Angel didn't transform this way, you lose the game. And then the backside is Angelic Enforcer. It's a creature angel. Power and toughness is stars. Flying, you have hexproof. Angelic Enforcer's power and toughness are each equal to your life total. Whenever Angelic Enforcer attacks, double your life total. So one of the things Saffron Olive mentioned on why Enduring Angel works the way it does is because if you create a token copy,
Yep.
if you create a token copy and then you would die, the effect triggers, but you can't transform it, so you automatically still lose the game.
Yes.
Otherwise, this would have been a problem because if you make a copy, you would just not been able to lose the game. And we already seen how the Faceless Haven plus the
Book of Exalted Deeds.
Book of Exalted Deeds does with not losing the game. It's a problem.
Yes.
Another thing is with Enduring Angel, if you play it, someone attacks you for a billion, you're gonna die. Its effect triggers, but in response to the trigger, you can still kill it.
Yes.
And you still die.
Yep.
So you don't. So that doesn't save you. This needs to like survive the turn.
Do you think it's good? Do you think it will see standard play? Yeah.
No.
Same.
It's a 3/3
for
5 mana.
Problem. That's exactly the problem.
Flying double strike, and you have hexproof. You have hexproof? I don't think it's going to be that relevant unless burn becomes like actual, like not red aggro. It's like burn. And we currently just have red aggro, not burn.
I would love to see burn being back. Like burn is just my favorite archetype.
Yeah.
This is just like this is not good.
I think at maybe a certain point it was probably a 4/4, or maybe it actually inherently had hexproof. But obviously, if it had inherently had hexproof, it would have been a gigantic problem. And if it was a 4/4, it would have maybe become a problem.
Let's just like put it this way: if the card were good, it'd be a problem. Period.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like if they would have made the card good,
but why? It's a white card. Give white something broken.
Give white something good. I completely agree with that. That's the thing that got me a little upset when I saw this card. I'm like, why not just make it a 5/5 or a 4/4? Why does it have to be a 3/3, 4/5? Like they're just gonna be like, oh, that's cute. Lightning strike, and I still kill you. Okay.
Do you want to read Galvanic Iteration?
Sure. Galvanic Iteration.
This is the type of card you would enjoy.
Yes, I love this card. Galvanic Iteration. It is a blue and a red for an instant that reads, whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for that copy. It's the standard, fork of the new set, but the cool part is it has flashback. For one colorless, one blue, and one red. So,
its cost is like really reasonable for being 2 mana, and then the flashback being 3. This is really, really reasonable. Really, really strong.
I don't know if it's gonna be standard strong, but I know it's commander strong. So good at commander.
I want to I'm about to like take down Baral again and build Niv-Mizzet again, just so I can put the Galvanic Iteration in there.
Yeah,
great. I promise.
So good. It's really good, and I'm glad that they're not skimping on flashback. They're pushing flashback to where it needs to be.
I think this is really sad that we get to have Galvanic Iteration next to Enduring Angel.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Chris, read this one. The Light Up the Night.
What do we got? Light Up the Night. Light Up the Night deals X damage to any target. Deals X damage plus 1 damage instead if that target is a creature or planeswalker and has flashback for 4 instead of X. So it says removes X count. Oh, that's actually a really interesting flashback ability. I didn't read that part.
Yeah.
For 4, you can remove X loyalty counters from among planeswalkers you control. If you cast this spell this way, X can't be 0.
Yep.
Huh. The flashback I think is interesting. I don't think it's necessarily I think it could potentially be like very useful, but I don't think it's good.
Orengo.
I don't know.
No. I don't know.
Are we gonna agree that we're just gonna we are gonna read the bombs and we just give the duds to Chris?
How dare you?
Because that's a dud. That's a dud. If I've ever seen
it.
You see,
really
what
bad.
it needed to do is it deals double X damage.
Yeah.
If you by removing the counters, that would make it worth it. It's like I remove 4 counters, I get to deal 8 damage. I'm sacrificing my planeswalker abilities.
Yeah.
Paying 4 mana and getting to do more damage. That seems reasonable.
Yep.
But no, it's just like you just deal that same amount of damage. It's bad.
It's bad. Yeah, it's really bad. And if it's like a mono red aggro deck, this card will never see play because you're going to be able to use it once.
Using planeswalkers anyways.
Exactly. So, I'm going to talk about Beloved Beggar because it introduces another new mechanic. So, Beloved Beggar is a colorless and a white for a 0/4. It's a human peasant. It only just has Disturb. It's four colorless.
Is it down with the sickness?
Sort of. 4 colorless and 2 white for a Disturb ability, which states you may cast this card from your graveyard, transform for its Disturb cost. So on the backside, cool. It's called a General Soul. General Soul, and it's a spirit because he died. And it's a flying vigilance creature, and it says if Generous Soul would be put into the graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead, and it is a 4/4. So we're getting basically, reanimation, eternalize,
like a type of eternalized flashback for creatures,
exactly.
But like for the transformed side, which I feel is really cool.
Yeah,
for the limited format, especially that
to
card.
Have like a whole other token for your freaking card instead.
So,
you just transform it.
That card, I'm not sure, but that card might it's a 2 mana 0/4. Great stats. Great stats.
But for like an aggro deck, it's not
exactly because White's been playing aggro. Like all the White decks that I've been seeing now, it is like
6 mana. You don't really care. Like for a limited format, the 2 mana 0/4.
Oh, you're talking about limited.
Down,
what the hell? Who the
will hold down the fort.
JP?
Yeah,
it will hold down the fort.
Sure.
It will block efficiently, and when it dies later on in the game, you can just bring it back as a 4/4 flying vigilance. It's pretty good beater.
Sure.
Yeah.
Limited.
No.
Exactly. We need to talk about. We should talk about that for a second. So I think it's starting in Innistrad. The set boosters are going to include commander only cards, and we're going to talk about them soon enough.
I did not know about this.
Yes, you did not know that? Great. So it's going to include, for now, it's only been 6 revealed. So the set boosters are going to have commander-only cards that you can only get in the set boosters, not the draft boosters, not in the commander decks that they're actually going to be releasing. No.
That's lightly concerning.
Yes, they're only going to bring them in the set boosters in an attempt to keep pushing set boosters over draft boosters. So when JP tells me about limited, I'm like, what is that? Do you eat that? Is that something? Is that a food? Because I feel like Wizards clearly doesn't want you to draft anything anymore. Clearly. So, and it's concerning because draft is part of what makes magic,
Yeah.
So it is concerning.
Let me do this one.
Go ahead.
Jadar, Ghoul Color of Nephalia. He is 1 and a black for a 1/1. He is a legendary creature, human wizard. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature with Decayed.
Ophiomancer.
Decayed is it can't block when it attacks. Sacrifice it at the end of combat.
Yes.
So let me tell you why this card is bad. It's good, but it's bad. So the real reason they should have made this is if it's at the beginning of each end step. Because there is no proper sacrifice mechanic in standard. That's one, so it can't be broken.
Okay.
And 2, it would actually make it worth it. I was talking about this card when I first saw it. I was like, oh, this is perfect for Yara. Every turn I'll get a 2. No, only my end step. And I get a 2/2 once. Can't even block, and it will die if it attacks.
It's fair because if it's each end step, the problem is that you have played a 2 mana 5/5 in stats. That's insane, JP.
Why? What do you mean?
What do you mean? Because if it's
I can't. I play the 2.
You can only create 1 per turn.
I play the 2 mana 1/1. Then I make a 2/2 with Decayed. Next turn I don't do anything because I have a 2/2 with Decayed.
Exactly. You're right.
I need to sacrifice that token, and there is no sacrifice mechanic yet. As seen up till now, no proper free sacrifice mechanic in Innistrad. So it is not broken, and even then, I can compare it to Ophiomancer. And Ophiomancer, even though it's a 3 mana 2/2, she makes Death Touch 1/1s. that can block. And Death Touch is a much stronger mechanic than a 2/2 Decade.
A few Mancer is 4 mana though.
3.
Okay, 3 mana. But the thing is, this is designed to be kind of like a 2 mana 5, 2 mana
Look,
3.
it's a
3
rare,
stats.
and it's a legendary rare, man. It should have.
It's a legendary. Sorry, it's a legendary rare, and
They
it
could have
makes
made this
a
like a legendary uncommon, and it would have been just like fine. It would have been okay, yeah, this is fine.
It's not that good. I'm disappointed.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Who wants to read the Werewolf Lord?
Chris, read the werewolf.
Ah, yes, give me the dud. No, I'm just kidding. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. At the beginning of your
Chris.
Yeah, my bad. Tovalar, Dire Overlord. I'm sorry. He's a legendary creature, a human werewolf. I'm just interested in the effects here, man.
Yeah, but he's cost 1 red and a green.
He's a day-bound 3/3. Yes, costs 1 red and a green. He is a day-bound 3/3. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves and or werewolves, it becomes a knight. Then transform any number of human werewolves you control.
And its backside.
Then it's reverse side. It's a 4/4, and now it's called Tovalar the Midnight Scourge, a legendary creature werewolf. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. You can pay X, 1 red and 1 green, and you get target wolf or werewolf you control gets plus X plus 0 and gains trample until the end of the turn. And it's obviously nightbound.
So let me tell you why this card is so good.
Yep, it's broken as shit.
I wouldn't say broken.
It's basically the best werewolf commander ever.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
The one thing that makes it the best, and no matter what, is the first ability on the original Daybound side is at the beginning of your upkeep. If you control 3 or more wolves and or werewolves, it becomes night. Okay. Then transform any number of human werewolves you control.
So
this is how you
This
is how you can control the old werewolves.
Yep, exactly.
This is that's why he's really good.
Yep.
The card draw mechanic is very, very good, mostly because werewolves is supposed to be like an aggressive deck, and the flip side has a Keswick Wolf Run stamped on the creature. Keswick Wolf Run being a land that does the X, green, and a red. And gives anything plus X plus 0 and trample.
Yes.
So this does that, but for werewolves, and it makes them draw cards.
This could have easily have been like a commander for like a commander deck, and it would have been like
yes,
amazing.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
100%, and it would have been really, really good.
Yeah, that second part right there, the then transforming over human werewolves you control makes it basically your only viable option. I know a lot of people wanted to play with Arlen, but I'm sorry, Solovar is like the best by a mile and a half. Let's go with Sigarda. So Sigarda, Champion of Light. There's a new Sigarda card. 1 colorless, 1 green, and 2 white for a 4/4 legendary creature angel, flying trample, humans you control, get +1/+1, and she has another new mechanic. Coven. So Coven states, whenever Sigarda attacks, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a human card from among them and then put it into your hand, put the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. The Coven ability basically is the controlling 3 or more creatures with different powers. There's another Coven card that we can read up later on that basically states when you do X thing, you check if there's 3 or more creatures with different powers, and then it does Y thing.
So it just cares about the 3 different creatures with 3 different powers.
Exactly. It cares about your Coven, essentially.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Sigarda? It's a weak Sigarda, I guess. It's not that strong.
4 mana, 4 for flying trample is decent.
Oh yeah.
Stats.
For standard, I'm sorry.
4 mana, 4/4. It goes even. Flying trample. Now it's going plus. It's a lord and it draws you cards.
Yes.
In general, I'm I'm not a fan of Sigarda per se, but like as the character, just different iterations. Also because like the original iteration stops people from sacrificing, and that's like my whole thing.
Yeah.
The second iteration is like based for humans, and this is more for humans as well. And I've never been too into humans. One of our friends who has a humans deck every now and again, he just builds it and dismantles and rebuilds it. A fish. He loves this card. He's just this is slam dunk. He just kind of wishes this were a human instead of Sigalda being the angel to do it, but it's fine.
I like the fact that it's Sigarda the angel to do it, because again, like, there's the whole like theme about like the angels basically helping or protecting the humans of Innistrad. So
not anymore.
Like that.
Yeah.
So it's like Bruna's dead, Gisella's dead, Liesa's dead.
Sigarda's around, and she's clearly doing her job. Yeah.
It's like I became the most powerful angel by default.
Essentially.
Oh man.
Like, what?
Okay, so you want to talk about the secrets? Well, I can talk about the secrets of the key. I don't like it, but sure.
There's Brutal Cathar, or wait, why? Secrets of the key?
Yeah, sure. Because what matters here is
the mechanic.
It's well, at least we're getting investigate, but what a shit card, because it's one little blue for an instant that says investigate. That's already a horrible thing. And if this a spell was casted from the graveyard, investigate twice. You should investigate 4 times, and it still will be shit. And it has flashback for 3 colorless and a blue. Yeah, it's a horrible freaking card.
It's a common. What do you expect?
The other one is a better opt. So do not tell me you cannot bring me better.
It's a common.
Look, it's fine.
Bring you a mechanic.
Blue is like flourishing in standard, so leave it alone. It's fine.
It's just weird, man, because in the same vein that you give me a better opt, you give me these weird investigate. And I know it's to establish the investigate. And by the way, it's established in Teferi. So are we getting Teferi here?
Yeah. Probably the other one
too.
Yeah,
or maybe in the other one. Sure, maybe.
Probably. Let's say Teferi, like we get Teferi, and we get Soren.
Sure, that could work.
But
yeah, I don't like it. Like it's a 1 mana do nothing, and it gives you a clue token that you have to tap 2 to sack it and draw a card. It's too many steps. That's why when I read the card, it's like, okay, you investigated. Even when
basically
it's in the graveyard,
play three mana to be able to draw a card at instant speed.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Kind of what you got going
on. And even then, when it has the thing, if the spell's in the graveyard, investigate twice. You should have investigated 4 times, honestly, for your damn struggles. Because you're paying 4 mana for 4 clue tokens that you can't sack immediately unless you have a shit ton of mana.
It's a common.
No, it's shit. I don't
Bad
like it. Go ahead. Go talk about Brutal Cathar.
You get opt, and then you get like Secrets of the Key. Like
you get better opt, and then you get shitty Secrets of the Key.
Anyways, Brutal Cathar, 2 and a white for a 2/2 creature, human, soldier, werewolf. When this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Brutal Cathar, exile target creature and opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. Day bound. And then the flip side is Moonrage Brute. It's a creature werewolf. It's a 3/3 first strike with ward, which is pay 3 life, and he is nightbound. Interesting enough, when you flip a card, you are not exiling and returning it. So it's the same card. Thus, the card you exiled stays exiled unless this creature dies. So you can exile multiple creatures with this card if you manage to flip it.
Yes, that's in theory what you would do. And in a game of Magic where your opponent must be a damn moron that has no removal, it's a pretty good card.
You'd be
being able to maximize, like I think of this as a maximum of removing 2 creatures. Pretty damn good for a 3 mana creature.
Sure. Okay, the next one.
I don't know. I feel like at least I'm gonna wait until everything kind of like rotates out, of course. But I think I've been there's been a lot of issues removing stuff that aren't creatures from the battlefield. I feel like there's more than enough creature removal.
This one's kind of interesting.
But when your creature removal is a creature, it's a double whammy. As in, you get a body, smack face, and you get removal, and
Yeah.
that removal can be up to a. It's technically not even a 1-for-1. It's a 2-for-1, getting a body and a creature,
Mhm.
and being able to remove another creature. Just saying at maximum, most people would try to kill it before it gets there, but being able to probably remove 2 creatures, like making almost a 3-for-1, is like really really good.
Okay.
Just by playing cards.
Yeah. Okay, so there's this other card called Puppet Stitcher. It's a 2 colorless and a blue for a creature human wizard as a 2/3. He states, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 black zombie creature with token with Decayed. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more creature tokens, you may transform Puppet Stitcher. He transforms into Puppet Factory. Haha, it's clever. It becomes an artifact. Creature tokens you control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness of 3/3. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may transform Puppet Factory. It's a really cool card for your token enablers, for your Demir zombie decks. Like, yeah, this shit's pretty cool.
It's
What do you guys
people people compared it to Monastery Mentor
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
because it's being a 3-mana 2/3, and if it survives a turn cycle and you just go off with instants, you make a bunch of 2/2s, which is actively better, like better monks.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the monks are 1/1s, but the difference is the monks have those monks have prowess.
Exactly.
The plus side is this can turn into an artifact, and in something like Commander, artifacts, at least creatures are easier to remove, and artifacts will be a bit harder. So
Yeah.
trying to make this flip into making all your creatures 3/3s, then they don't have abilities, so they will not have Decayed. So it's just a direct power boost in terms of from 2/2s to 3/3s, and they no longer have to sacrifice at the end of the combat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's
That's
it's a really well designed card.
Mm-hmm.
Very strong, but like very strong because it also is like, I'm mistaken, it's just like creature tokens. Yeah, creature tokens. This
Yeah.
might bite you depending if you have big creature tokens, but for the most part it doesn't. And you can even choose, right? You may transform Puppet Stitcher.
Exactly.
You may transform Puppet Factory.
Mhm.
You actually choose, so it's just very beneficial in its term in its mechanics.
Yeah. Chris, what about you?
I just like it. Want to stick it in Baral. I just want to make tokens for casting stuff. It's fun. It's so much fun.
Tarlan was another deck that a lot of people talked about.
That's the guy that I was thinking about.
Okay, so finally, I guess we can talk about. Oh, they reprinted
Thermal Alchemist, and he was heavily used in Standard when he was in, because in Burn, like back then in Standard, Burn was a thing.
Yes.
And you could actually burn people out.
Let's talk about this one because this one's really fascinating.
Guys, Flame Reservoir or Can't Stay Away?
No, Consuming Blob first.
Blob.
Consuming Blob is 3 colorless and 2 green for a star and star +1. Consuming Blob power is equal to number of card types in your graveyard, and its toughness is equal to that +1. At the beginning of your end step, create a green ooze creature token with this creature's power is equal to number of card types among your graveyard, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. So he's a combination of a standard ooze
Tarma Blob.
and Tarma Blob. Yep.
Consuming Goif.
Consuming Goif.
Blob. Tarma.
Yep.
Like Blob of Goif. Yes.
This thing is kind of strong. If this
being at 5 mana is what limits it, but other than that, yeah.
I know, but
other than that,
a 5 mana that produces a token like on each of your end steps.
If it doesn't, if it just survives one turn, it's a problem.
It's still at the beginning of your end step, so it's not like, let's say, like that Ixalan card, which makes like a sapperling at the beginning of every upkeep. So I guess it's not as strong as these kind of things, but that's still.
And you're already assuming that if you're
Definitely do
playing
some
Consuming
damage.
Blob, you're having a deck that cares about what you have in the graveyard. So it's going to be pretty strong when it finally lands on the battlefield. And if it doesn't get dealt with on that same turn,
an average of an average of a 3/4 and a 4/5.
Yeah, exactly.
Repeating 4/5s, that's scary.
Repeating 4/5s is scary because I mentioned this because I remember the last blob that was kind of used in Standard He was also a 5-drop. It was
yeah, no, but see the difference between that is it make the bodies immediately.
Oh no, I know, it did. It was a mana sink, but yes, you could
Also
make it
as well.
immediately. Yeah. So
and it made them bigger, and it made them bigger automatically.
Yeah, true. You're right about that.
It was a mana sink, but it made the mana sink to pump the stuff or make more creatures. I'm not sure which one was it, but I think it made more tokens actually.
Yes, it made more tokens as the mana sink, and then it would do the powering them up like each turn.
Each
upkeep.
Was each end step. No, it's like in your end step.
Okay.
Because it would make the 2/2. It was a 2/2 and a 2/2. It would make the 2/2, and if you let it get to your end step, it will become a 3/3.
Oh, okay.
And that was the problem.
Yeah.
It's like immediately 6 power for 5 mana. It was very, very strong.
But this one immediately gives you potentially what?
It doesn't immediately give you.
Okay, fine. Doesn't immediately give it to you, but they're not gonna have.
But the power is a lot stronger.
Yes, there's more power to it. That's why I feel like it probably will see play. I think in mono green decks especially.
Someone's at the very least going to try it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Can't stay away. Go ahead.
Can't stay away. White and a black sorcery. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains. If this creature would die, exile it instead. And it has flashback for 5. 3 white and a black.
Yep.
Decent cards, like super versatile card. Very good. 2 mana reanimate. It's basically an unearth with conditions, but it has flashback. For 2 colors is it's. I'm very, very good. Happy with this card.
Okay.
Geist Flame Reservoir.
Oh.
You missed this one. Is 2 and a red artifact. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on Geist Flame Reservoir. You pay 1 and a red to remove any number of 1 and a red and tap it to remove any number of charge counters from Geist Flame Reservoir. It deals that much damage to any target. Or you 1 and a red and tap it, exile the top card of your library, and you may play that card this turn. Note it says play that card, not cast that card. So you can play lands.
It has some pretty good versatility, this one. It's good in some aspects, it's kind of limiting in others. Because we've seen some of these effects in other cards. They can do it, for example,
the damage
continuously.
Instantly. Yeah.
And continuously, the exile the top card, basically that was that one card, that enchantment card. You could keep getting the cards from the top of your deck. But I guess it's pretty good for a spell sling. Clearly they're pushing the spell slinging thing to become a thing again here. Since we already have Strixhaven.
Every single time they've always tried to push spell slinger in
Innistrad.
In Innistrad, yeah.
But now
original Innistrad had a bit, and Shadows over Innistrad had a bit.
Yes, but now since we also have Strixhaven, and that cares about spell slinging a lot because of the
Magecraft.
What was the mechanic?
Magecraft.
Magecraft, exactly. Thank you. So because of Magecraft, we might see a legit spell slinging deck be a legit thing. I think that the pieces are probably there.
We're gonna see a Lily, so they're gonna try to stick Liliana in there and just do crazy
definitely.
stuff with the spell slinging. Sure. Probably white black spell slinger or something.
Rise of Harmony is also very good. This one's kind of broken.
Yes.
The
art is beautiful. I love the art. I love the art so much.
So Rite of Harmony is a green and a white for an instant spell. It reads, whenever a creature or enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. And also has flashback for 2 colorless, a green and a white. And Wizards must be smoking crack because they forgot to add non-token creature. They just put stupid creature.
Yes.
Stupid creature.
Give it to green and white. It's fine.
My God.
It's fine. It's green and white.
I like how the first good white card that we fucking encounter is two color
green. Yeah.
But
man, this card is reminiscent of Glimpse of Nature.
It's insane.
It is reminiscent for Glimpse of Nature, and it also for any infinite combo, you just draw your deck. Yep. Oh, this is so good.
You have infinite mana and your deck is a bunch of creatures, you just drew them all. If you have a Enchantress deck, you just went insane.
Janky Rubinia.
I kind of want to read this next card. This is for you, Orengo. This is exactly directly for you. Curse of Shaken Faith.
Oh yeah.
1 and a red. Enchantment Aura Curse. Enchant player. Whenever enchanted player casts a spell other than the first spell they cast each turn or copies a spell, Curse of the Shaken Faith deals 2 damage to them.
Yes.
And I say screw you.
No storming off. No.
This is gonna. I think this is gonna be really fun in standard too, though.
Sure.
Like seeing like people trying to counter like spell slinger decks, like using this to try and counter them and see how that.
This is like a sideboard card in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be a very good sideboardable card if spell slinging does become a
Although,
legitimate
to be
thing.
honest, though, there are a lot of decks in standard that will cast like multiple cards per turn.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a. I don't like. At least if you're playing best of one, you're gonna run at least a copy of it, like in your best of one.
Yeah.
I think
That's fair.
it's really useful.
So
I got
the
really,
lands.
I got really confused with these lands because I thought it was like, wait, these are just fast lands, but no, they're like slow lands.
Yeah,
this
they are.
is weird.
They're
It's the
essentially slow
opposite.
lands.
I
Yeah,
like
they're
them though, to be honest. I really
That's
do like
fine.
that.
But
Like I prefer these
instead
over the fast lands.
Agreed.
Instead of trying to like complete any of the other cycles they're missing, I think that the only cycle that's being missed is
The 3-color cycling land cycle.
the cycling lands.
Yeah.
That would have been nice. The cycling lands for that, but see, there I think they're not going to add those because those have subtypes, and those subtypes are going to
Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second.
It's fine. So those new subtype ones are going to be used for Nuka Pena, and that's why these aren't the ones. But these, the other ones are the battle lands, or as they are officially called Tango lands. Because it takes 2 to tango. Yeah. Anyways, so but no, those also have what the little stupid joke that it takes 2 to tango.
Yeah.
I mean that's the reason they're called tango lands.
I know. That's exactly why it bothers me.
Anyways, these also require 2 or more. So are these tango lands too? Huh? Wizards, answers? Answers, are these tango lands? What are the names of these lands? And
they're the same colors as like the previous cycle of Tango lands, no?
No.
Or like the first cycle, I think it was.
Tango lands were in. Actually, yes. No.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Because Tango lands.
I at the very least remember there being like,
there is,
unless I'm confusing the clans, but I'm pretty sure we had like a
yes.
inspiring
You are
magic,
correct.
was it?
You are correct. You you're thinking of the fast lands.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, but
these are the
red.
These
the red,
are the
green,
similar
and
colors.
The green white, I do vividly remember because I used to run them in my token deck.
These are the same colors as the Tango lands, but these read that they enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands.
Exactly. So it doesn't have to be basic lands. This I think is fantastic, to be honest, especially with the Forgotten Realms lands. You can just play one of those, then just like basic, play one of the other land, play one of the Forgotten Realms lands, play one of these. I think it's great.
So yeah, for in the general aspect, finishing the cycle land cycle, finishing the battle land cycle, finishing the Ikoria land cycle, and now this is a new cycle, so now they need to finish that cycle. But I was thinking they're missing more, but they already finished the previous cycle in the previous sets. So yeah, it's not that bad. They just created a new one, and we already know. We kind of feel like they're gonna add the tri-lands in Nuka Pena.
Mm-hmm.
So
I really hope they do. It would almost wouldn't make sense for them not to. In that case, like they should have the lands for the 3-color demons. I mean,
yeah,
I would assume that you are pushing for like 3-color play in standard by doing so.
Which reminds me, 3-color demons in the colors that are missing. You already know my little goal of making different commander decks for the different colors, but I really want the sacrifice mechanics, and having a demon like a banned demon that sacrifices would be amazing. Mostly because
a banned demon though. I'm trying to think about that.
Remember that there's
kinda
also
interesting.
angels, like angels and demons. So it's probably gonna be an angel
Yeah,
for those
but
colors.
the whole
But
point is that the five like lords or whatever they're called, mob bosses or whatever you want to call them, are demons. No,
yeah, I'm not
they're like
sure. Like
specifically demons.
we'll see when the set comes,
Unless you want to have like an angel that's masquerading amongst the demons or something. That'd be
or an
kinda
angel demon.
angel demon. I don't know how to feel about that one.
I mean, we already have angel. It's like an angel Phyrexian, so
Yeah, but I feel like angel demon just kind of goes into new territory with that one.
nah, we've already we've already entered a weird territory.
With like what? With like Atraxa, you mean? Or
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think that's that weird. I think that it's just like Phyrexians just pick stuff up from other planes, like transform them into something new. So I think it makes definitely makes a lot of sense on that one.
okay.
Rather than versus the angel demon and stuff instead.
So while Orengo is still out, I think I'm just gonna continue.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to talk about I want to talk about my ex-girlfriend, Gisa.
Yes.
Gisa. She's Gisa, Glorious Resurrector. She is 2 black for a legendary creature human wizard. She's a 4/4. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. At the beginning of your upkeep, put all creature cards exiled with Gisa, Glorious Resurrector, onto the battlefield under your control. They gained Decayed.
That's really cool.
Is really good. Is really good. I hate exile effects, but because it's Gisa, she gets a pass. She was my first commander, like Gisa, gold color Gisa.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I really like her alternate art though. Like I'm
Oh,
assuming that's
yes.
gonna be from the
This
what's
one?
it called? From
Yeah, that's
from
one.
from the film set. Oh wait, I'm not looking at it on your side. I'm looking at it over here. But yeah,
Yeah.
like, her alternate art is so
Oh,
gives me like Bride of Frankenstein vibes or something like that.
Yeah.
because that's the vibes she goes for.
You know. Oh man, so cool, so cool. Actually, I'm excited to see the different arts for that film set. I hope that at least with already like seeing like Gisa and her new art, that it'll like meet my expectations, I suppose.
The other thing, real quick, what do you think about the lands? Real quick,
I like them. I like it for
yeah,
standard, and I love them for commander. They're
they're
really good in commander. Excellent.
I want to talk about Blade Stitch Scab.
Sure.
So,
Lord.
Blue and black for a 2/3. He's a creature zombie soldier. Other zombie you control get +1/+0.
Yep. It's a Lord.
2 mana 2/3. Let me repeat that. 2 mana 2/3. I mean, Lord.
2 mana 2/3 Lord, yeah.
2 mana 2/3 Lord.
I like
Actually,
it.
wasn't that the case with the Merfolk Lord back
No.
from
2 mana
Barcelona?
2/2.
Was it a 2/2?
It was a 2/2.
2 mana 2/2 Lord
Wow.
that gives +1/+1.
Actually, most of those lords were 2/2s.
Yeah, Merfolk Lords are generally 2/2s.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first Lord that's 2 mana +1/+0 2/3.
Yeah. The Lord was
I actually
smashed.
think so. There was this fringe deck that started when Modern Horizons 2 came out, which was like the zombie deck, and it kind of fell out.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if this card just brings it back, even if it's just a tier 2 deck.
I feel
Because the zombie mechanics with a Champion of the Perished,
Mm-hmm.
which is whenever a zombie enters the battlefield, he gets a +1 counter.
Yeah.
You have Crypt Breaker for card draw,
Mhm.
and he's like your quote-unquote heritage druid, which instead of adding new mana, he gives you card advantage, making like zombies a longevity type deck.
Yeah.
Which has always been the case. You have this Lord. You have the previous Lord, that the one that gives +1/+1, and whenever something dies, you get to ping something for damage, or someone for damage. I feel like as soon as one of the lords is out, like just thinking, you play Aether Vial, you have a champion of the perished. So you play one of the grave crawlers. Grave crawler is a tremendous 2/1 for one. It brings gold. You can cast it from your graveyard as long as you have a zombie in play. Like very value based aggressive strategy, but I feel like it's still tier 2 because it doesn't have the disruption humans has.
Yeah.
Humans has Talia. Humans has like Freebooter. Humans has the like. But if we get like those type of cards for zombies might actually like be really good. I really want like the human lord that when he enters the battlefield, he gives all those humans +1 counters, and then afterwards, any human that enters makes him get +1 counters.
Talia's lieutenant.
Talia's lieutenant, but for zombies.
Yeah.
When you got champion of the parish, if we get that actually solidifies in terms of the aggro. We wouldn't. We have access to black, so Inquisition and Thoughtseize is our options, even though they're not creatures. Which would solidify the strategy even more so.
Okay.
We still have these 2 sets, like this set and the next.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
You want to talk about this one?
I actually wanted to talk about the white
I hate it so
one,
much.
but go ahead. I haven't even read
Dissipate is Dissipate. We're getting a Dissipate. It's not going to be played because there's better counter spells.
No, white blue.
Oh, I'm sorry. The white
Devoted
blue one.
Graphkeeper.
Because I don't even want to talk about like that, like Falcon Craft Looter.
The only reason I wanted to talk about this one is just I thought of the bird from Kaldheim.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you cast something from outside, from like not from your hand, you draw a card.
Yeah.
Well, this is whenever you cast something from your graveyard, like you tap a creature you don't control.
Yeah.
That's just something that goes into that. It's just something like just popped into my mind.
Yeah, he's cute. I don't feel like he's that powerful or interesting. This one though is kind of strong.
I hate it. I hate it.
Could you read it?
Dude, you gotta discard a card and sacrifice a vampire, or like on top of that. I mean, and you gotta deal damage to be able to activate the ability. It's like too many loopholes for a looting effect, I feel.
But it's a sack outlet, which could be good theoretically if this becomes a thing. You know what I mean?
Like, at least I'm personally really bothered by it because for like after playing like stuff like Niv Mizzet, where you just have like Faithless looting and all these other looting effects for like just the cost of casting a spell and discarding a card, I feel like discarding a card and having to sacrifice a vampire specifically. It's not a creature; it has to specifically be a vampire. I don't know. I feel like it's too many loopholes. You got to deal damage, discard a card, pay mana, and sacrifice a vampire.
Let me give my 2 cents to counteract that. Falconwrath Gorger, which was the one that gave other vampires madness for their mana cost. That card, that 1 mana 2/1, at least in cube, was played mostly due to the fact that it is a 1 mana 2/1 in red with no drawback. I know we've passed that threshold with stuff like Ragavan, but the fact that it's still a 1 mana 2/1, no drawback, this is just all upside, is pretty decent.
Yeah,
that is true.
That's already upside.
I feel that this card, we only have half the set. I feel like this one is a preview for the other half. If the other half includes Madness, which is probably going to include Madness, and if it includes Rakdos Sacrifice
I wonder
again,
how Madness would just fall like here again, because we saw that we had Investigate from from one of the spoilers from earlier, and I'm just wondering like what is the investigation that's going on now? In this case, what would be like if we get Madness again? What is causing Madness in the plane of Innistrad?
Nostalgia. So, anyways, like I said, you discard a card and then you sack a vampire. So theoretically, if you have Madness cards on you, which I'm presuming that we'll see that in the Crimson Moon, Vow.
Crimson Vow.
If we see it in the Crimson Vow, this card's gonna be like a all-star in the vampire deck, theoretically. But like JP said, you don't need to do this. You could just have a clean 2/1 for 1. Just keep swinging down, and then when you have your Lord,
You can just sacrifice itself.
You can sacrifice itself.
You can just sacrifice itself.
Yeah.
Ah, no, they're at 1 life, and I have burn in my deck, and I can't, and I have like 10 mana. Let me just smack you. No, like I already smacked you, so let me just sacrifice itself.
So
draw 2 cards. Let's see what I get.
I think for now is probably not good. Obviously, it's not good at all. But I think once we get the other set, I think that you're going to understand why it has the effect the way that it does. They probably play tested it, and they probably part of the reason why it has the final ability about activate only if an opponent lost life this turn probably was added in there because they started realizing, oh no, we're gonna go crazy here with the madness and the sack outletting.
Wait a minute, I did notice that I kind of read something wrong here. You draw 2 cards. Wait a minute.
Yes, you draw 2 cards.
Wait, okay. My opinion is slightly changed. I don't think it's amazing or anything still, but
sure.
Yeah, drawing 2 cards in red is actually very, very good and important.
I think there's something to it. Okay, so
you're still losing basically 3 cards, but whatever.
Sareth. I think it's Sareth. Sareth the Viper's Fang, 2 green for a 3/4 legendary creature human warlock. Other tapped creatures you control have death touch. Other untapped creature you control have hexproof. You can pay 1 to tap her and untap another target creature or land you control. For green, really, really good. You just want a ramp deck and have like big beef. You want to smack things because they will have death touch, and you can protect your stuff because they won't. They'll have hexproof. It's just a really good green card. Slam dunk.
In a chat with a lot
of
Magic players.
It's also insane for like that because there is a death touch deck that's kind of running around in standard. It hasn't like made any huge splash or anything, but I think
one that gets poison counters,
solidify.
Counters,
like this will really solidify that whole strategy.
I think
I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this.
It is very viable.
Like I don't know what you could probably play in turn 3. But obviously have to wait to get a few more spoilers and stuff. Like actually, the snake. The snake comes out. So you got like turn 1, you do like a 1/1 death touch guy. Turn 2, you got the Finn. Turn 3, you got the
counters.
You got the death touch snake, which gives your like death touch creatures like the ability that when they get tapped for like attacking, your opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And it also has death touch, so 1/4 death touch. It's insane. And then turn 4, you got like those 4 cards in curve like that. This is great. Wow.
Yeah, I was in a magic chat, and one of the guys that was talking about this card was like, I don't understand the first ability. It's so bad. Like the creature's tapped, and then I guess his brain loaded, and like a minute later, he's like, "All right, because when you attack, you tap creatures." I'm such a moron, and I'm like, "Yep, yeah, you are. That's why no one answered you, man. You should have known better." You want to talk about the Celestis? It's pretty interesting.
It's there.
I
think it's great. You can just play around with like your opponent's day and night stuff. If like he's trying to like force night or something, you can just mess around with that. It's great
activate only as a sorcery.
Yes, that sucks.
So you can't make it.
That is true on that part. But I don't know. I do think it's definitely a really fun card, and if you're going to go for like the whole werewolf theme deck on your commander, like amazing card to have in there.
Yeah, for your commander deck, for sure. Like it's a necessary card. They spelled more. Oh, they have Pithing Needle. I didn't know.
That's
Needle.
I love one of the that cards. So much.
So in one of the articles, in the not an article, but in the blog, in Mark Rosewater's blog, he had posted the list of the cards, just like the speculations, like the teasers, and one of the cards was like, oh yeah, we're printing a card that's very useful in other formats, and someone went like, well, Sorcerer Spyglass is rotating, so Pithing Needle. Everyone was like, that makes so much sense, and it's just so perfect for the entire theme of the entire set. So yeah, and there it is, Pithing Needle.
Yeah, it's a really great card. Obviously going to be used endlessly in standard, like there's no doubt about that. This one, Curse of Silence, I saw some people arguing if it was good or not. It's interesting.
Name your commander.
Yeah, that's what it has purpose for. Like a lot of competitive
Gonna get
EDH
banned.
players were talking about if this card would be good in CEDH.
It's not
gonna get
really.
banned.
It's not really, because a lot of CEDH doesn't even care about the commanders. So then you're screwed because you can't like name a good card in the first or second turn that might be useful for the longevity of the game. So
Or a card like instead of it being a curse, you just play it and name a card. Name something like Mana Vault, something like Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, common cards like that. Then maybe, but for the general part.
okay, so what do you guys think
I
until
think it's
now?
standard. That thing is gonna be hella annoying though. Especially if you're like playing it like on the draw and you kind of know what your opponent might be playing.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's that combined with like the spell. What's his name? Like the guy. He comes down for 3. He came out in like in Strixhaven. He's a cleric. He has a 3/1 flyer. Comes down for like 2 and a white, and you pick a card from your opponent's hand, and it costs 2 more to cast.
The Spellbinder.
Yeah, the Spellbinder. So I think that in combination with the Spellbinder could actually give white like a really nice upper hand. Especially since it can like, set up and be more aggro in those first few turns.
But the thing is, you're wasting your turn 1 drop on that instead of.
You could easily drop it turn 2, to be honest, and still not like it's not going to be that much of an issue.
White needs to
the spell
be
binder
aggressive.
on, like,
You just need to be. Spellbinder's a 3-drop.
Yeah, you gotta be very aggressive.
He's a 3-drop, but the cool thing about, like, for example, like if you didn't like get your spellbinder, you could have this like in the like just like maybe that's like a 1-off or 2-off card.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll still like I think it's really useful. I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, like this is going to be in every white deck you play, like the case of the spellbinder.
It'll definitely be in the sideboards of almost every deck.
Yeah.
But you have to guess a card
like,
first.
I think it's kind of like when you use Portable Hole. Like Portable Hole is a fantastic card, like, but it doesn't really see that much. It's not that it doesn't see that much play. It's just that it's literally like it's usually like a 1-off or 2-off in your deck, and sometimes a sideboard card.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be the same case.
So, what do you guys think up till now, Innistrad?
I'm excited.
Okay.
I like all the flavor. I want more powerful black cards. Why can't you just play more powerful black cards? Don't be afraid. Just ignore restrictions. Just go bonkers. This is this is the type of set you should go crazy with black. But we haven't seen I haven't seen anything that makes me like want to buy, like I need to buy the card.
I mean, this is like a werewolf set. Maybe the vampire set will have like more like black inclined cards. Because it being like the werewolf set, I would have expected more stuff for green and red is getting a lot of fun stuff. Green always has fun stuff. It's fine. I'm at it. I mean, you got like the death touch thing from earlier, like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping that on the vampire set, they just kind of go insane with, like, again, most likely red as well, since like a lot of the vampires in Innistrad are kind of red aligned. But just go. They'll probably go ham in black. I do think they probably will.
Okay. I'm not that excited. I'm okay with it. There's some cool cards.
There's not like a lot of stuff that you look at
for now,
and you're like, oh, this is amazing.
I'm not going insane. I love the lands, so the lands are a good buy. There's some few
Galvanic
cards
Iteration, because it's
there's a good few cards at the rare and mythic level that I might be interested in. The good thing is, like I mentioned before, it's going to have basically 3 different printings, so it's going to really crash these prices. So it'll be good for buying the singles in the secondary market. So I'm excited about that. Like, but I wasn't like high in Innistrad because I have no nostalgia for it. I never played it when it was original Innistrad, so it's not a set that I'm like, I have any.
I drafted so much Shadows over Innistrad though.
There you go.
I played.
Yeah.
Like I've shown you how many Insolent Neonates I got. Like
I know.
One draft with 8 Insolent Neonates is ridiculous. It was ridiculous and amazing.
I started playing Magic by the time of like around Eldritch Moon, like when we were going for like I think it was Eldritch Moon to Kaladesh, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same.
So Eldritch Moon really does hold a special place in my heart because it was like, oh, like what like I've already played like with these older Magic cards that our friend Gabriel introduced us to. So like what do they have? Like what's Magic doing now? And then we're like, oh, like werewolves and vampires with Victorian vibes. This is like awesome. Then we went to Kaladesh, and I was really confused. I was like, what the fuck is this?
I played basically around the same time, sort of on a competitive level because I used to do the pre-release for Shadows over Innistrad and Eldritch Moon. I did the pre-release for both. So like
you started earlier though. You started you came back to the game
exactly. I came back
a bit before me.
If we're talking about boomer, then I'm the boomer here because I played when Mirrodin came out.
No, but when you properly came back to the game,
I did kind of properly play Magic when it was Mirrodin and Darksteel, because.
But then you
stopped. Introduced. Yes, I stopped because I got no one else to play with. That's why I got into
when you came back, properly.
So when I got
like Ravnica.
It was not Ravnica. It was actually yes. It was probably Dragon's Maze, but I wasn't playing Dragon Maze. So I started Commander because my friend told me like, oh, you can play this Eternal format with friends and whatever. And then when we started going to LGSs, well, not everyone played Commander, so we had to do something in the Friday Night Magics. So then we were like, well, let's go to pre-release. And the pre-release that was there was Shadows over Innistrad. It was the first one, right? Exactly.
So you kind of skipped a few sets. Mostly because after Dragon's Maze, Dragon's Maze is like the.
Then what was after Dragon Maze?
Gate Crash, if I'm mistaken.
Go ahead, keep going. So then we got a 3-cycle of
M15. Then you get Khans, Fate Reforged, Dragons, Magic Origins.
Okay, so that's why I said Dragon Maze because it was a dragon set. So
Khans of Tarkir.
Khans of Tarkir, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I remember fetch lands were available because I was watching streams and people were just making 4-color decks.
Stupid, okay, so I know. I played Standard in that time.
So that's when I started kind of like playing, but I was playing Commander. I wasn't gonna get back into actual like Standard.
No, yeah, I went full on into Standard back then.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was done with it. I played it in high school, and since I was just playing casually, I didn't want to get back into it because the whole problem was that I didn't want to become what I was when I was in Yu-Gi-Oh days, that I was like going to tournaments and going to like the regionals and like that was too much. I was like, I just want to keep it casual. Bullshit. It didn't last too long because you guys saw me play competitively for a while, Magic, so it didn't last too long. But for a while I was just going to the pre-releases, and yes, but I guess I have more nostalgia for maybe Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. Mostly because, you know me, I like my artifacts and my colorless spells, so I kind of enjoyed that one more. Because when I played the Shadows over Innistrad and the other one, it was fun, but I didn't like it that much. I bought a bunch of boxes when we went to Zendikar, because that was the introduction of the lottery cards, and I was like, oh, it's so cool. I bought like 3 boxes like a crazy person. I pulled no lottery cards, so I hate lottery cards with all my heart. I do have a bunch of like full arts. It's like stuck away in my home, but I never got like any lottery cards.
The reason like Shadows over Innistrad, I drafted it a lot because I won a lot. So I just won is like, okay, I get these packs, I open them. Okay, does this give I just traded back in? Does this give me another draft? Yeah, okay, I'll play the next one.
Yeah,
and I just played the next one. I played that it was the draft weekend. I played the pre-release twice.
I miss what those are like.
And then I played the draft weekend 3 times, like through all 3, like on Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday. And at least one. I think I won every single one. Like I just drafted that set. I didn't get many good cards. I was just bad at pulling cards. But since I was just making good decks, because I understood what the format was. After like the first few times, it's like, oh, okay, I understand this. Let me just draft all the Insolent Neonates, because apparently this one card is like 1/1 menace. Just start swinging in on turn 1, and just play another one, swinging, and nobody has any blockers. Everyone's just trying to play their big stuff. By the time they play their big stuff, it was like, well, you're at 3 health, and I have 10 Insolent Neonates. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it becomes insane.
And the good part of Insolent Neonates is you just sacrifice it, you draw, like discard a card, draw a card, but then you just discard Fiery Tempest and just burn their face.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's so for our listeners and our viewers, in the before times, we used to do a thing called pre-releases,
Oh
where
my
you
God.
would go when when new set came out. It's not the thing they do now, where they just release a new set and you just buy it. No. In the before times, we used to go to what they call a LGS or LCS, and we would go and we would actually gather with other humans, right? And then we would pay for a little box that contained 6 boosters, and we would make decks with them and play for prizes. Not this new thing where you just buy the new set and the LGS is like, well, I have this excess promo, so here you go, and they just give you free promos because they don't know what they're supposed to do with them, because no one plays competitive events anymore in LGSs, at least for Magic. Funny enough, if you call like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, literally anything else, they're all playing competitive whatever, but Magic is the only one that I swear to God, no one is playing competitively right now. At all, anywhere.
Because
It's
everyone's
kinda
playing
ridiculous.
Arena.
Yeah. Like even the ones that, like, say for example ISD, I'm pretty sure ISD hasn't done like a Magic tournament at all. Like the only ones that are actually trying to do something is Barista, and he's forcing it because it's like 8 people or like 6 people every weekend.
Dude.
Yeah.
Ahora Sergio no juega, pero I never thought I would see Sergio promoting Commander Night.
Yep.
Thursday night, like I went to the store and he told me, "Oh, we actually have Commander Night tonight." And I'm like,
Wow.
on the outside, I was like, "Oh, that's great," but por dentro, I was like, "Excuse me," I thought like,
I thought it was
He
you were
hates it.
bougie
He
for a commander.
detests it.
You
He thinks it's an
bougie for a commander.
abomination.
Yeah.
like I hadn't been back to the store in a while, and seeing that change, like he was actually kind of excited for Commander Night, and I'm like, am I talking?
But it's bringing in money now.
Yeah, it brings in money. Because all that the pandemic did was like create a shit ton of Commander players in the process. Because that was the only thing you could play with your friends. Because why would you be that asshole and be like, well, I got my I got my modern deck, brah. Let's fight. It's like, what?
Excuse me, sir, but during this pandemic, I do not have like almost $1,000 to build a
Exactly.
competitive deck to play with you, so you can test out your like Ultratron deck with your shiny cards.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna fight against 4 Ravagans and cry. Like I want to just play and have fun, dude. Like we're literally suffering right now. I don't need this. I don't need this from you. So yeah, I saw that and I literally flipped, and he was like so excited because he got like an 8-person Commander Night, and I'm like, wow, man. Like I remember every time I bought cards from you, you would always say, "Is this for Commander?" Should play a real format. I'm like, but yep, that's what pandemic does, and that's what desperation does. So literally, that's what all it is. But it's interesting though, because other TCGs, they just have competitive. They do competitive stuff. Todavía, like Pokemon. I saw they did a tournament the other day in Granuja. Yu-Gi-Oh, they do it. Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They were doing Flesh and Blood tournaments in Granuja.
Exactly. The only one they haven't done is Magic. Granted, I know that Granuja and Magic, it only works when it's Commander. Or for competitive formats, it's always been kind of a struggle in Granuja.
Pre-release,
yeah, pre-release, yeah, but the one that you need for longevity purposes is actual like competitive formats.
Standard.
But even like when you see ISD also doesn't, like they haven't filled up their quota with Magic. It's been Yu-Gi-Oh and it's been Pokemon as well, and that I feel like that now is in part Wizards' fault. And I know they're introducing those new promo cards that it's shit that you win. And it actually is going to have the stamp of the store, which is actually a really cool thing. I'm actually kind of excited for that.
I didn't know that
you can get what were the promos? And they were really good cards too. They were like modern staples. I don't remember right now what they were. There were 2 of them, and no, there were 3 of them.
Was it Goblin Guide one?
Probably.
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
So it was 3 of them. You get one for just entering the tournament. You get one if you end up in the top 8, and then you get one if you win. Right, and they are going to be stamped with the name of the store. So it's always going to be bounded to where you won, which is really cool.
Granuja.
Right? I just want to try to win one
really-
where it just says
yeah,
Granuja.
same.
Damn it. Like, that'd be so
Yeah.
awesome to have in my collection. So I hope like they get those promos, because I'd be willing to even be like, hey guys, I'm gonna pay $5 and I'm gonna drop, and I'm just gonna see you guys later. But thank you for at least one of the promos.
No. I want to get like I won this tournament Granuja
Oh,
stamp.
of course,
promo.
of
Like,
course.
that's what I want.
Well,
like
let's see from now to December. That's my
I
concern.
got like my only champion mat from Granuja, and now I want
Same.
like my stamped champion
Yeah.
mat with the Granuja logo, and I want
Yeah,
my
yeah.
stamped card with my stamped deck box. I want it all. I want it all
Yeah, yeah.
stamped.
Same. Like, it's a cool initiative from Wizards. It's a cool initiative. I hope they come through with it. It's not like a little stupid thing for the LGSs so they don't die out. I hope that, I know the pandemic is still going. It's still
I think it'd be
rampant.
really fun to like stamp, have like some
Yeah.
cards that you'll see like as commanders usually, and have them stamped that way would be kind of cool though.
That'd be kind of cool too. Yeah, like they can play
Like,
with this.
Just having
Clearly,
like
they
a Capitan Granuja stamped Baral. And just
Yeah.
like,
they kind of opened the floodgates in terms of the shit that they're doing as of late. So that's cool. Also kind of like scary sometimes, but it's kind of cool in those regards, right? So
I can't
I
wait
don't
to
know.
see what happens when Magic kind of like, I guess you can say, stabilizes. Because right now I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Magic in general, like the way it's like handling everything, is kind of like in this really huge experimental phase,
Mhm.
and they're
Oh,
just
yeah, it
kind of
is.
like doing everything everywhere to see kind of what sticks, and then they just kind of stick with that.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious and really excited to see what's going to be like, what Magic settles on once we, because I assume that it's all going to kind of go together. Like once Magic settles in terms of its market, it'll also settle in terms of its lore and story, and we'll finally get like the big, like, you know, main storyline with the new big bad guy and all that. So I don't know. I'm just really excited for it. That's about it.
Well, guys, I think we're at the end of the podcast. JP,
SPR,
where
this was a long one.
can the people find you?
You can find me here in the Cardboard Cave podcast. What about you,
Awesome.
Christopher?
You can find me at my Twitch at crisscross13. I had to stop doing content for a while, but now I'm probably gonna get back with some more Final Fantasy again, and maybe some Nier. I don't know. Thinking about stuff. And yeah, obviously here in the Cardboard Cave podcast and on all of our social media. What about Orengo? Tell me, buddy, where can they find you?
Where they can find me right here, Cardboard Cave 2. They can find me with John in Subtitles Required, which is a podcast that we do, where we talk about international films. We're going to be doing our next episode, which is going to be Roma by Alfonso Cuarón. He never seen it. He saw it and he flipped his shit. He's like, oh my God, we need to talk about this right now. And I'm like, yes, we do, because it's a really good movie.
I'm gonna watch
Beyond
it
that,
before you guys do that, then that sounds great.
what?
I'm gonna watch it before you guys do that. Then it sounds great. I've been wanting to watch it for so long, but now knowing that you guys are gonna talk about it, that seems
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, it's really good movie. Beyond that, you can find me in The Movie Guy, Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can find me in it's so funny. I swear she does this on purpose. Hi, Fabiola. She says hi at the tail end of the podcast.
Hello, Fabi.
Hi, I
Hello.
appreciate your view. I appreciate it.
We appreciate all of your views. Please
yes.
invite your friends. Everyone
Yes,
should
please,
view us.
everyone,
It'd be
everyone that is a Magic player, please
great. And even if you're not, just get into a new game. It'll be fun. I promise. You won't
Get into a
waste
new
your
game,
life savings
Commander.
into like cardboard crack. It'll be great.
Just play Commander again. Just get into Commander again. That's your new game. Just Commander. You can also find me in my own podcast called Cinemas Podcast, where I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about in terms of films, and I invite special guests to talk about these topics. The last episode was about the Val Kilmer documentary. You can find it on Amazon Prime called Val. It's a great conversation talking about what it is to be an artist, what it is to be an actor, what it is to be someone who wants to express their art, and sometimes it's kind of difficult to do so. You could also find me at 15 in Richport. I hang out in Cine Nerds. Tomorrow we have a new episode. It's going to be a foodie theme episode. And you can also find me in the after school special, which sometimes I barge in unannounced and just talk about, Marvel stuff mostly. But it's fun. It's fun. And
You were
beyond
talking
that,
about Marvel?
yeah, I was talking about Marvel. I saw the last episode of What If, episode 4. My God, it's such a great episode. It's literally one of the best things.
before y'all sign off, did we get like more news spoilers while we were doing the podcast, or did we
Let
just
me-
like not cover these?
Refresh, I guess. I can refresh the page for a second.
Because I just saw Lenore Autumn Sovereign that was apparently from today, according to Scryfall.
Oh,
No, okay,
give me the page.
that's the. We already talked about her. That's
Okay.
the one that gives you card draw.
Mm.
Yeah, and there's like the flashback spells that it looks like we're gonna have like a bit of a cycle of like visions.
Yeah, we
do
we,
have
we
a cycle.
Oh, the commander cards. Yeah, I forgot to mention them.
Oh,
Those
those are
are
the
there.
commander cards. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
It's the
we talked
commander-
about a few. Like we talked about a few of them when they were like. Well, a few of them were leaked
Yes,
like
that's
very
true.
early, and we talked about a few of them. So
Yeah.
so if anything, we'll cover it next time.
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
to look
We'll
forward
probably
to.
get more commander exclusive ones, maybe.
Yes,
Hopefully not.
I hope we
Hopefully
get more
not.
spoilers on that though. I want to see what's.
I
up
mean,
with
I
those.
hope we get the spoilers in cards we can actually buy, not cards that we need to try to acquire from set boosters. We'll see. But yeah, beyond that, you guys can find me on Google. You can Google my name. I make movies. I make stuff, content. As you can see, I'm in 1,000 podcasts. It's fun. It's fun to podcast. You should all podcast. Ooh, you should all podcast and do stuff. Chris left us. Maybe it was the internet. Maybe it was something else. But he left us. And I guess we're all leaving you as well. So hope you have a great night. Keep buying magical cardboard and enjoy your evening.
Hey geeks, do you love comics, collectibles, and TCG? Well, here at Cardboard Cave, we have the place for you. Pass by Kapitan Granuja Comics and Games and find all your favorite geeky items there. Look for them at Facebook or Instagram or call them at 787-659-7003. A store blessed by Nicole Bolas.